Don't worry, I'm clenched adequately for your thing.
Hui.
And I managed to get that in at the start of it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Oh God, Why?
Alright, so, first and foremost, hello everybody who may or may not be listening. This is the very first session of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I would like to point out that none of us have ever actually played this before, so we're probably all gonna fuck up, and that's just life. Sorry. However, we will plow through it as necessary. Now then. You lot, let's see. Here we are. Now then, background stuff. You collectively have never met until now. You see, you each had your own lives, jobs, technically, purposes. Until one day, for reasons that vary between you, you were told, ordered, or asked if you came from a particularly nice place, to guard, assist with, or just accompany an ambassador of your particular sector, or a region of space, if you will. Now, being the position that you are, you're not entirely informed of the exact whys in any of your cases. You're just frankly not that important, but you're not stupid either and are able to rumor monger and figure your way around to a couple of at least basic ideas. First, you are brought here because the ambassador is not simply some fop. They are actually somewhat important, which is a nice change of pace from the usual noble dickheads. Thus, being important, you dug a little further and discovered that this meeting, they're all heading to a ship in particular, in the Kronos Expanse. The Kronos Expanse, to all of you, including the Tau, is wild space in its purest form. No one owns it, no one really can. It is both that exact right amount of distant and yet sort of interstellar crossroads. Close enough to where everyone can reach it, far enough to where no one can truly control it. Yeah, yes, thank you. Yeah. Thus, on your arrival, again, given little information to work off of, but as best as you could tell, they were all, more or less, including a few of you, some of you were told to stay aboard your ship, rather specifically our tech priest, Sigismund, aboard his own personal ship, was told to stay aboard while the rest climbed aboard the particular oddity that was the ambassadorial meeting ship. From what could be determined by the lot of you, the name was not encouraging, let's call it. Oh, where did I put that? Ah, the Stringent Conclave. Not particularly encouraging. Funny. Yes, the Stringent Conclave was the name of the ship, and it's a ship completely unlike any of which you are familiar with. It is neither Tau in origin, it's definitely not Imperium. It, frankly, looks like a Space Hulk someone repaired. Space Hulks being ancient ships of varying origins, sometimes Xeno, sometimes not, that have been, obviously, abandoned and bereft in space. This one looks like it was repaired from some sort of, most likely ancient Xeno, but if you go back far enough, even Imperium ships look strange. It is best described as a really, really, really big sphere that parts into an oval. Basically, there's a big circular section that comes out of a sphere. I couldn't find a picture of this. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this seemed rather normal. I mean, you had done your job, all seemed well, and then it happened, as is inevitable, or at least ways it feels as such. So many ships traveling in and out of the system, coming by, dropping off their ambassador, over and over and over and over and over, did what felt was inevitable. Now, there were obviously precautions, no one warped into the exact same position, and there was a fair amount of pause, but, unfortunately, the rift between worlds, the very warp itself, was torn. The vast chaos of the warp drifted in, the immaterium joining with the material, and when the dust had settled, so to speak, and you will never speak of what you saw, because, my God, you had somehow, you again try very hard not to think about exactly how, managed to grab yourself someone of use, haul yourselves aboard a ship, and dart towards the only remaining ship in the system. In specifics, you had grabbed a navigator, likely aboard the ship as part of an ambassadorial gesture, like as not, or as representative of a house. Hard to say. He hasn't said much because you did kind of grab him at some point and haul him aboard a ship. And the only ship in the system that remained and wasn't either consumed, left, or various other reasons was, of course, Sigmund's, which, for the various reasons why he was not consumed, luck, as to why he did not leave, his navigator was consumed by a thing. There was tentacles involved. The less you think of it, the better.
Do you mean Carnamond?
Sigismund is the captain who owns the ship, yeah?
Sigmund. Oh, pardon me.
Yes.
Got those the wrong way around. Carry on.
That's right. Carnamond is your navigator.
Yep.
Sigismund is your captain. Moving on. Thus, once you would all, I'm going to use the phrase calm down, but let's be frank, stopped panicking. Once you have ceased panicking, managed to get a small shuttlecraft aboard the Nihilist, as Sigismund referred to it. Nihilist, sorry. And essentially hidden from your own crew while they go through the rigors of calming down, you are now bereft in space, a short distance from the rolling terrors that are likely still going on, only able to gain distance through essentially stubbornness and the crew's vague desire to get away anyway. And here you sit, a collection of unusual specimens aboard a ship that is in chaos, but will calm down with time or effort, unknown to all of you, and most definitely considered massive, complete and total failures by your respective empires, let's call them.
ELDR, we come to our senses just shortly after docking with a ship that is strange to three of us, and the warp is still visible out the portholes, so to speak.
Yep. Also, you have kidnapped a navigator because, well, you need those. You're not sure when you kidnapped him, but it probably happened some point between the noise. There really is no accurate description for what happened.
At some point, I found one of my bodyguard's weapons strapped to my back.
I'm quite serious in that your characters, in order for you not to all be insane right now, develop mental blocks to not think about the thing that happened.
We needed to roll zeros on a D100 to pass the will save.
More or less, yes. And I'm skipping that because A, cool backstory, B, people really would do mental blocks for this shit.
Luckily, I was
Right, so
I was
you are
knocked
all
out
aboard
right away
effectively
by
the
this.
command deck. Your crew is currently... Well, they're not killing each other, but they're not working either, so that's a problem. And, of course, you all don't know each other aboard a strange ship, so do as thou will.
Did you say they'd actually managed to come up the command deck? Because I don't know how that happened on my ship.
No, you're in the command deck. They're, the crew of the ship otherwise is not really doing anything. You are all aboard the command deck. Not necessarily because you want them there, because that's the only place you currently control. It isn't full of panic crew people who may or may not start a whole fire or blast a hole in the side of the ship or something stupid.
I am guessing that was simply the most available place for us to park this shuttlecraft we just arrived in.
It was the closest position to the hangar that wasn't on fire at the moment, yes. He has a couple hangars in that ship, and most of them were full of panicked idiots.
We call those
Alright.
Imperial citizens, thank you.
I apologize. Panicked Imperial citizens.
Who are you people, and what ship are we on now? Last I remember, we were aboard the conference vessel. I
Probably
speak in
best
low
if that's
Gothic.
all you remember. I also know Low Gothic, so that will be the language we speak in right now, apparently.
It seems to be the standard in this area.
For reference, Low Gothic is more or less the trade language. It is very widely known. And the only one who might not know it would be the Tau, but he's an ambassador and is clearly speaking it, so yeah.
Actually, I have 2 ranks of training in it.
There you go. He probably speaks it better than you lot do. Which is kind of like saying I speak Cockney English better than you, but whatever.
Well,
Yeah, what?
A lot of people who speak English as a second language speak it better than native speakers. It's sort of how that works.
Well, there you go then.
I'm no Hamlet, but I'm fluent. Anyways.
Just to be
For
clear,
reference, the command deck of this ship is, I'm going to use the word Spartan and saves space. There's not a lot of excess wiggle room. It's not especially fancy, but it is very, well, it's not well made. Nothing's well made anymore, but it's
it's a combat
Narrow
kept the
corridors.
standard, and it doesn't have any wastefulness about it.
It's a combat bridge.
Yes. Well, that means there's not a whole lot of nice, comfortable chairs.
So who dragged my unconscious body to the command deck?
Tried to guess, the Battle Sister.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That or Sigismund helped going, hey, look, a navigator, I need one new one of these.
I'm going to assume that they dragged themselves here. Because I've been on the command deck this whole time.
Well, to set the scene, you have just, for you, Mr. Sigismund, you basically watched that happen, and before you could order your navigator to pull the fuck away, his head went bang, and tentacles got involved, and you don't think about it is the point. Desperately trying to regain control of the situation, you more or less managed to put out the bigger fires when 2 folk, one of whom is clearly a Xeno, because no human has blue skin and looks like that, and the other one is, well, I will allow you to roll on a lore Imperium, if you want, common lore Imperium, to determine what exactly she is, but you know she's wearing power armor because you're a tech head and you know that kind of thing.
Ooh, power armor.
Yeah, there's probably a fleur-de-lis pretty prevalent, and she's probably praying in High Gothic at this point, to be honest.
Regardless of the role, these 2 just sort of stormed in, bolted the door, and made for cover, and you just kind of watched that because, well, 1, you don't want to pick a fight with 2 people, and 2, one of them is carrying a person that you don't necessarily recognize, but you recognize the style of clothes, which is to say, one of them is carrying a navigator, and yours just exploded, and you need that to go anywhere, so,
I'll
you know.
roll, but it's a pretty low number I would get lower than, because Forge Worlds take a hit to your knowledge about the Imperium in general.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm having you roll on something most people would just instantly recognize.
Nope.
Yep. Yeah, she's just wearing power armor, maybe she stole it, or something you don't know, or is just really fucking rich. But you know, all of those are positives as far as you're concerned. So yes, you know for a fact that they have a navigator, because you recognize, well, you've had one, it just exploded. And that in and of itself is instantly valuable to you in terms of, well, how else are we going to fly out of here? As to the other 2, one of them is an Xenos, one of them is a power armor wearing person who seems devout. That's about all you know.
Speaking of the Xenos, do I recognize a bridge when I see one?
Yes, actually. Tau technology and Imperium technology, while extremely different, do follow a few of the same basic concepts. So the idea of a bridge is not impossible to you, and there is a guy sitting in a big chair with a captain's hat on, so, you know, that's not a long stretch.
You, be you lord of this vessel?
Yes, and who are you? Why are you on my ship?
Uh,
Why on earth did you not die in the big swirling chaos of the warp outside?
I'm so far guessing that there are good things I have yet to do, and it must have been a group effort, he says, looking nervously over at the sister. Why is the ship not moving away?
2 words. The first is warp. The second is panic.
We seem to have both in plenty. What is the problem?
Heh.
Panic crew cannot move a ship.
All right. If I help you restore order to your ship, can I get ungrudging travel upon it out of this space?
Considering I don't really have the resources to blast you out an airlock right now anyway. Yeah, if you could actually manage to calm down my crew, sure.
Right.
Seems our Tau has a mission. Convince them not to panic when they see a Xeno, and then convince them not to panic in general.
Considering my navigator's head just blew up, you might have some trouble negotiating that.
I believe this lady can help you with that.
Hmm?
And I turn away to watch the door and make sure there isn't anything else coming down the passage that we just barged down from the shuttle to here.
Speaking of, Sigismund very much has his Hellgun drawn.
I'm assuming you all have weapons full out and ready to shoot the shadows that may or may not be demons, so don't worry about that.
I have a pistol in hand and what appears to be a large anti-vehicle railgun on my back, yes. I have no idea how to use the damn thing, but there we go.
And you have power armor. So which is it? Are you rich or important?
This is directed at Desmonda, who may respond or continue praying.
Desdemona.
This is Skullhat. When was the last time he pronounced the word correctly?
See, he knows me.
Well, this is all you're going to get in response. Where there is uncertainty, I shall bring light. When there is doubt, I shall sow faith. When there is shame, I shall point atonement. She continues praying, ignoring you.
I will allow another common lore Imperium to determine what and fuck.
She's obviously gone insane.
From anyone at this point.
I still have to roll really low to make that.
I'm aware. Keep in mind, it's not just your skill ability, it's also your base characteristic added to it as well.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have any actual ranks in that, so it goes
Yeah, and it does
past
reduce it
my
pretty
int,
bad.
and then I get another minus 10.
Yeah. However, everyone else may try as well, not just you. Well, everyone conscious if Carmanon is still out of it.
Carnamord.
Best. I certainly can't invoke any common lore to help against that, but
Well, you're rolling for yourself at this point. If you have Common Lore Imperium, you may try to determine, and I will argue that as a Tau, you have at least heard of, if you make it.
And if you don't have Common Lore Imperium, I believe that's a basic thing.
I will also point out that she is part of a group that is, well, underneath that particular skill set, because if you've encountered the Imperium, you've encountered their various military branches, and that's what the sister battles are.
right. Well, there.
But
Oh, that was strange.
what does that roll?
That's just a D100 and then reinterpreting
see.
it as a few other things. Anyways, that 68 was versus my effective common lore of 25, so no.
Nope, not one of you can make sense of what in God's name what in the greater good name she's blathering about.
However, I think I would like to try to bring her to her senses by appealing to her sense of duty using charm.
Acceptable.
The good news is that means this is versus 75.
Yeah, I think you made that.
You definitely made that for the sake of Des here. You may word it however you wish, but he does sound... How do I put this? Not important, more like he knows exactly what needs to happen right now.
Good woman, your god shall not be able to save you if you do not save yourself. We have things to do, and they must be done with swiftness and fists.
Yeah, a call to action to stop praying and do the thing is very much in line of what the Pistors of Battle like to do. Point is, he sounds convincing.
She'll finish her current prayer and look up. What do you need?
She speaks.
I need your trustworthy face, your gun, and your knowledge of this variety of ship. We must seize its control back from its crew. For this, the good captain here will not throw us off of the ship when he's done doing the same.
Very well. I know not of how ships function, but I can help.
So none of you are shipborne. Lovely.
There is still the unconscious body of the navigator
Yeah.
just kind of on the floor, in case anyone has forgotten that.
Sega's gonna go over to that. And Carnamord up onto a seat.
Carnamord is now positioned uncomfortably in an uncomfortable iron seat that is very likely older than all of your ages combined.
Has the previous inhabitant been removed?
He had to because he was part of a panicked crew and was starting to mash the go button when the navigator was dead.
Okay.
Right now you are bereft of crew in this particular room.
Well, he's apparently anxious.
I know not the first thing about medicine, let alone about yours.
Well, there's a few options here for Carnamord. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yes, you
Call
do.
you Karn. Anyway,
Karn.
that's the shortened version of his name. Screw it.
You can go with Jace.
Karn may wake up when he chooses, or you may try a number of fun activities.
I'm
Yeah.
going to slap him.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Carnamord, you have been slapped. It stings a little.
Just a quick second.
Alright. Bunch of chuckle fucks in here, aren't we?
I'm okay with the first, not the second. Oh, in case nobody's actually looked at the token yet, I'll remind you all that Sig has a giant metal arm coming out of his back.
Yep, good old dendrites.
At any point, if you lot want to roll a lore mechanics, I think it is. Common lore mechanics. Technology, it's one of those.
I have
On-
forbidden lore archaeotech.
Weirdly, that I will allow it, but it's not. It's going to be at a
You'd
little
strict-
harder check than it normally
Yeah,
would be,
you
just because
strictly
it's not.
want Forbidden Lore Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah,
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, I only have Imperial Creed and God damn it, I can't pronounce it.
Ecclesiarchy.
Ecclesiarchy. I hate this word.
Imperial Ecclesiarchy wouldn't really give you anything beyond the most vague idea that he's Adeptus Mechanicus, and that's literally all
There
you
is
get.
Common Lore Machine Cult as well.
Yeah, there's a few things you can roll, and I will allow Archaeotech against on Sixman there, but it's going to be far more difficult to gain information out of it, as a warning.
Skill is 50.
Oh, well, there you go then. That will let you determine he is part of what you know as a human society called the Adeptus Mechanicus, which, from what you can tell, is sort of like your Earth caste, but sort of not. It's much more secretive and less general, and apparently they know far less about their own technology than you would think. You also know that that arm is not biological, duh. But you also know that's actually rather common for these humans, these not Earthcasters, to simply have mechanical bits attached to them that they use for, well, services, unlike your people who simply get inside suits or use drones.
I shall mentally file him away as an expert in hands-on tasks and carry on.
I twitch as I'm slapped, but I don't quite wake up.
Alright, so he's probably alive. There's a number of things you can do. I will accept a medicine, I believe it's called, skill check.
Haven't got anything in it.
I know, I'm just saying I will accept it as just a try. I will
It's an
also
advanced
accept
skill, so
other
I can't
physical
even-
activities such as shaking him, finding water through throw on him, and or airlocking him. These are all options. That last one may not work.
Bolter shot to
Because
the leg
you'll
would
lose
wake
it.
him up, I'm sure.
I would assume I was knocked out by whatever blew up the navigator's head.
Yeah, very likely. That is the most likely scenario. Or, one of a dozen other things, but that's probably it.
Actually, my servo skull could probably do something to wake him up.
Entirely possible.
Look at him creepily.
Yeah, speaking of, there's a servo skull floating around.
Well, it's unlikely their focus was on it immediately. It is small and doesn't do much to draw attention to itself, but once your attention is on it, it's very clearly a, human skull that has been enhanced with technology to float around and do as he says.
Creepy.
For as far as our Tau friend is concerned, that's just a drone he's seen weirder.
I will grow eyebrows and raise one of them.
Aren't they generally common enough that Desdemona won't really bat an eye?
Probably
It's
servitors
actually more common
are-
to see those around than it is to see just the mechanical arm, and the mechanical arm is super common. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you're not impressed. It's just kind of expected. Even if you know next to nothing about these guys, you've seen these before.
I have an injector. Doesn't have anything in it currently, but I'll jab him in the arm with it.
Okay, well, stab.
Ow!
Oh, good. You're not dead. Or insane. Are you insane?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Good answer.
I just...
Can you fly a ship?
I can navigate one, yeah.
You're going to need to do that soon. Unless you want to go take a trip on the warp again.
Where am I?
You're on my ship. Where that ship is going to be soon is a much bigger question.
Away from here.
What happened to my ship?
Likely gone boom.
Well, if you look at the, if you use the equipment, which tells you more or less what's happened to what you could guess is the primary ambassadorial ship, it looks a bit like a squid made of metal. It's just bent all the wrong way.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
My boss is going to murder me.
I wouldn't
Was your
worry
boss on
about
that ship? Was your boss on that ship?
No.
I
Maybe you
me-
shouldn't meet your boss again then.
myself and the lady in golden armor here, we ran through the halls looking for survivors, picked up as many as we could, and well, the ones we dropped may have slowed down our pursuers enough to allow us to escape. So good job.
Okay, just point me to the navigation chamber.
Well, the good news is you have one. The bad news is it's not technically in your control at the moment.
We are going to need to get the panicked crew members not so panicked first.
Okay, good, because I need to sit for a bit.
All right, then.
Captain,
as a
this is
navigator-
your ship. Which where could we start that would do the most good?
It's the navigator's room.
Well, we should have access to, the actual command systems from here. In other words, speaking to the ship.
Correct.
The only issue there is that this is an old ship, which all command tests on this ship actually get a -5 penalty.
Mm-hmm. So, as our navigator takes a break from being unconscious, I will allow several things. And it really depends on how you want to best handle this. There's quite a few ways to get the crew back in line. Pretty much every social skill here is approachable and usable and all that fun stuff. How you go about doing that is up to you. The fastest way is to use the well, outdated and frankly crappy Vox systems, which does incur the penalty, or you may walk around and attempt to find the particular, I guess the best term is captains, perhaps commanders of various sections of the ship, each section having its own, overall representative. Getting these
chiefs,
people unpanicked
perhaps.
and, under your wing will speed up the process, but not quite as much as simply using the Vox to do everyone at once as you would. So the exact process is up to you. I'm simply presenting two options. The personal one, which will take longer and requires you to find specific individuals, or the Vox system, which simply has the penalty involved.
Sig will look at the blue skin. You seem to have a honeyed tongue.
For reference, Tao's only experience with honey is through an intelligent insectoid species called Vespid, who are their allies, and they use their honey as a poison to kill people.
I've told a foul joke or two in my time.
Right, Zeno. You're good with words.
It's an art.
There's the Vox system. Have at it.
Ah.
You take one look at that and determine this is the shittiest console you've ever seen in your life.
If I read this correctly, I push this to talk, and I release it to listen.
That would be correct.
Oh dear. I begin racking my brains for an inspirational message that may at least stop riots.
While he's doing that, I'll check for any actual damage to my ship.
Very well. That's going. Since you don't have your crew to communicate this to you, you have to use the equipment on board. Thus, free hot dogs. That might do it. I will accept. Let's see.
Tech use?
Yeah, tech use. Tech use would let you read the systematics well enough to determine at least a few basics.
Just double checking because I know I have a bonus to this from somewhere. Right, yes, I have a combi tool, so I get a plus 10.
Fair enough.
Which makes it really easy for me to make these tests.
I imagine, but you still need to roll because the test itself modifies based on what you're doing.
My
So
normal...
a challenging of like 0 will be easy, but this isn't a 0 test, sir.
I think I'm
well,
good.
you fucking passed with flying goddamn colors.
I am Tech Priest. Hear me, Tech.
Yeah, well, alright. Tech Priest the shit out of it. The machine spirit is in good spirits, surprisingly. Despite the situation before it, you know it to be a rather unflappable beast. It really could not care less about what's going on, and in addition, it is actually just the right distance away for now to not be directly affected by any physical manifestation. The only real danger would be its machine spirit affected, and again, yours is unflappable, don't give a fuck. So, you're actually about as good as you can expect. Though the faster you get out of here, the better, because that old mess is not stable. You don't want to be any closer to it, and you really don't want to stay where you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as we can get the crew under control, we are able to leave.
Correct, and preferably leave in the direction that is not in.
Yes,
They
turning
will-
around is a bad idea.
They will obey,
You have
or
no
we
real
will
way
punish
to turn
them.
around at the moment, not with any reliability. Through once again the crew is under control, the ability to turn around is not even a question. It's just what direction do you want to go in.
Having heard what the lady in the golden power armor said... Well, you must be an Imperial citizen, aren't you?
We do not have time for triple T's. You must leave now. Do what you must do. Get them under control.
Well, with that said, I'll look at the blue skin again.
Blue Skin, would you like to do something?
After a few false starts, he feels like he is ready to address the crew and try and, well, maybe this will strike chords with some of the more important people aboard.
I will point out two things. First, I will accept any skill you want to use that's a social skill and does not require speaking and not being in front of them. And two, since they're only hearing your voice through the Vox system, they do not know you're a Xeno, so you do not take that usual penalty.
Okay.
Tau do not sound particularly alien, especially over a shitty Vox system.
Yes. All right. Then, well, basically all of the social skills I could use for this all have the same skill.
It's up to you what tactic you use.
Anyway.
I will point out they have different effects based on what you use.
So,
Perspective of what you are as a leader being the least of them.
in that case, I am going to attempt to bluff the crew into order. I am going to tell them that we have regained control of the ship. We just need a few more sections to come under to get their act in line, and hopefully everyone will assume that that means they're the ones still panicking and try and get themselves in line. I shall address it directly to the various crew section chiefs. To come on, we're almost out of here. We just need one or two more systems back online.
Very well. Make your roll, sir. I have the difficulty in mind.
Yep, and the skill here is 65. How does a
think you're
6
good.
do?
A 6 gives a impassioned speech about how control is absolute, and the only thing preventing a quick and tidy escape is one or two minor nuances. And truthfully, they're already pulling out if just one or three people would just get in line. The effect is not entirely immediate, although the captain is, of course, being on the consoles as he is, able to determine that the first thing to come online is the engines, unsurprisingly. And after that, people start to bang on the currently sealed door to very likely take up their positions. Or maybe to kill you all. It's hard to say.
Guns pointed at door.
I'll glance at the sister, who I don't know is a sister, but keep my own gun ready while I open the door.
Well, you know this, Pearson. This is Wallace. Wallace doesn't have much going on upstairs as people go, but he is something of a savant when it comes to talking skills. Not very smart, but very personable. You rely on him to essentially do your job when you're not around. He's that special blend of not creative enough to disobey you, but loyal and good enough with people to do your job when you're not around. He's that special kind. Wallace crisply salutes, takes one look at behind you, screams Xeno, and reaches for his pistol. How precisely would you like to handle that? I will allow Sigismund the initial how he'd like to handle that, because he is closest and can see it most clearly. I will reference he has a las pistol. He's important.
How far away is he now? Since I just opened the door?
He's right in front of you. He's like not even a meter away. You're at the door. He's at the door. He just screams, I will shoot it now.
Well, I'm going to say stand down, but besides that, I have a mechadendrite. The mechadendrite can grab his arm.
Alright, at your word to stand down, soldier, he pauses, gun still in the process of being unholstered, looks at the Xeno, looks at you, and goes, "Sir, are you sure you want that aboard?" He sort of just shoulder gestures at the Tau.
We can space it after we're away from the warp storm.
Aye. Come on, lads. Ignore the bluebie, and they just sort of file in. There's roughly 4, because you don't really need that many folk aboard. You just need a few for communications purposes between various sections, i.e., roughly 4 guys to run the Voxes.
Yeah.
They're full and well-dressed, I'm going to say. They don't look like hobos, unlike most of your crew.
Gonna grab cardboard.
So they give off the impression of not excessive wealth, but of position relative to everything else. And they're disciplined enough to not openly stare at the unusuals, only to look at once, baffle, and then resume their duties. Which is mostly sit at the consoles and yell at them. And or pray at them, depending on particulars. Your ship is now in order. You may now get the fuck out of Dodge.
Grabbing Carnimord and showing him to, the navigators, etc.
The navigator's chamber. It is almost directly below the command deck for good reason. It needs to be there to communicate as effectively as possible. It is a semi-sealed room. There's not room for anyone else except him, and it is a room. The door is sealable, but is generally not. Although, occasionally, if you feel it is necessary, it is sealable. It is filled with dangling wires that don't look like they belong in anything non-organic. They have lots of needles. This is where the navigator, as the ship captain would know from experience, literally plugs himself in to help guide the ship. It's unpleasant and best not to watch, especially because if you're close when he's doing his shit, he may or may not melt you. So,
just before we move on, quickly, I had a talented I hadn't put to something.
Oh.
So I'm going to put that to navigation warp.
Good choice.
Yeah, I approve of this choice.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Because it's going to come into play right now. Alright, you have your ship under control. Now you need a destination. Thankfully, Wallace, as always, is being reliable on this matter. You don't know precisely where you are because, well, you weren't told, and you can't go back to where you were because it's very likely your superiors will, at the very least, demote you to the point where you're not in charge of the ship anymore. So, Sigsmund...
Yeah, I got my warrant to trade. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, fuck this. Thing is, it's the Kronos Expanse, and you don't know where anything is. And the navigator isn't in a better position than you are. He has no maps. And he can't go the direction he went, because his house will probably do something unpleasant.
I don't know if this helps, but I do have scholastic lore astronomy.
Or at the very least, an Inquisitor will think he caused it and tear his head off, or some unpleasantness. There's not really the option to go home. And no one's going to Tau space, because fuck that noise. So, you're stuck in the Kronos Expanse. Luckily, Wallace is able to convince most of the crew to kind of collectively, talk about where in the Kronos Expanse they might have experience or have traveled or at least know enough about. And they get the idea that they could head to a system called... Doop-de-doo-doo.
That's a weird system name.
No, shush, I'm looking at it.
I want to make a new home on
Notre,
4.
right, the Notre system. Right, I named it after the star, right. The Notre system. Unfortunately, since no one is from there, or, well, if they were, it's like 3 generations back, their knowledge of the place is simply that there is definitely one friendly planet with supplies, enough of, not really a shipyard, but enough space for your ship to drift without being immediately consumed by whatever is out there.
There is civilization.
As best it could be called. Further, it's civilization that is... It's imperial, but it's not the kind of super loyal imperium that would burn you on sight, let's call it.
It's frontier.
Yes, definitely Frontier Imperium, and they definitely don't have the kind of force necessary to even theoretically take your ship from you. Their presence is minor due to the difficulties of its position, and none of them are sure precisely what those difficulties are because none of them are navigators. They don't know why it's hard. So, piecing that roughly together, you do get a rough idea of where you're supposed to go. Thus, it is now up to the navigator to point you in the correct direction. Now then.
As soon as he's in that room, I'm shutting the door and getting back to the bridge.
Oh yeah, no. Once he's in the room, get the fuck out of Dodge, sir. Alright. The first thing we must do is the navigator must try and figure out how long it's going to take to get there. He must make a science test. Please do so.
Cyniscience?
No, science. It is science.
There's an NI in there.
Is there?
Yes.
Yep.
Ah, I spelled it wrong. Derp. Oh, there.
Yeah, it's niscience is an omniscience.
Right.
It's a cyniscience.
Signitions. Okay. Alright, do that, please.
Okay, I have a 33 in that.
Okay. Alright.
Phew. Okay, little close.
Yeah, I know it's a little close. The good news is... Alright, you know the following. The route is an indirect route. It's not just a straight shot. So, it will take 12 days, you believe, of your time. Because, again, time gets weird. Your time
Shipboard
to
time.
get there. The Astronomicon is not shrouded, so it shouldn't be any abnormally difficult to locate during your trip. And, yeah, it's going to take, like I said, 12 days is an approximation. It could be longer, it could be shorter, but that's your approximation. Now then. Just checking something. Ah, alright. However, there is one small detail. You note that there is a warp storm brewing, which isn't all that surprising considering, behind you. There is only really one way to deal with this. The captain would know this as soon as you communicate to him over the Vox system, which is really tedious because now's not the time for this shit. In order to hopefully avoid a warp storm of this nature, most captains do something called an appeasement. You are essentially, it varies between captain to captain. In your case, you very likely have everyone pray to the machine spirits and maybe offer it something, something it'd like. This can take up to 5 days. Now, you don't have
Sacrifice
to
a
do it,
million
but the
goats to
dangers
make
of
the
not
engines
doing
work.
so
Type stuff.
vary between getting sucked into the warp and dying and just turning purple for a few days. It is very a large range of bad. But it is bad to not do the appeasement. And it doesn't always take 5 days, but it can take up to. So it is up to the captain whether or not he wants to perform the appeasement and risk that catching up to you. This is already fun.
Well, we know.
He may take a vote. He is allowed to just take a vote. You are captain, and the job is yours, but you can decide the crew gets a vote. By crew, I mean these guys who are important, not the whole crew, because that'd take for goddamn ever. There's like 10,000 of these guys.
Yeah, there's a bit much of them. Yeah,
Okay,
let's take
okay,
a
crew,
vote.
everybody line up in alphabetical order. We'll have you fill in your paper ballot.
Let's
Yeah,
take
that's
a
not
vote.
happening.
Okay, what jackass voted Trump?
Like 40% of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really can't take a vote of all 25,000 crew.
You really can't, especially since a lot of them have just the one word names.
Okay,
Like
what's
Wallace
with these
is just
3,000?
Wallace.
What's with these 3,000 people who did write-in votes for penis?
Honestly, if you really tried to vote, like had them all do a vote, they'd all vote something along the lines of praise of the emperor. They're not experienced or all that smart in terms of outside of doing the one job they have. Thus, I ask again, would the
The
captain like to
section-
take a vote of the
the
important
section
people, or
captain
just
should
make an
take a
executive
vote.
decision? Because again, doing this, the actual activity of doing it, is entirely within his...
I did already say this.
Yes?
We're taking a vote of the section captains.
Ah, alright then. Give me 2 seconds, I need to roll a few things.
And it turns out Wallace wants the captain's seat for himself.
And I have a Helga.
Yay.
Okay, you have, for reference, I believe five section captains. One for each important piece. There's the gunnery captain, the engine captain, the generator captain, I'm going to call him. He covers like the shields and all that.
Mhm.
The captain on your deck, and the population captain, the one who's in charge of like supplies. Quartermaster, that's the word. Right then. They all pretty much collectively say they're very nervous about it, but they would rather go at non-warp speed away from the problem and do the appeasement rather than risk going into the warp and ending up essentially backwards, because that can happen. They would rather, I mean, they've just gotten away from a horrible warp encounter. They'd rather not risk another if they can.
That's fair. Yeah. That is reasonable.
Alright, if you are willing to do the appeasement, please roll a 1d5.
Okay, 1d5.
You sacrifice D5,000 of your crew.
Well,
Or one
look at
Xenos.
Hmm?
Alright, so your particular purification process for this, because you decided to take the faster one in your head, because fuck that, you essentially plug the Vox system into the machine spirit, which then makes, I'm going to call them noises, because it doesn't communicate, it makes noise. It's kind of like a background fuzz sound. And everyone chants and prays over that sound over the course of a day before you've determined that the appeasement has been met. So, you have lost one day, which was nowhere near enough to put yourselves in danger of that thing catching up. So, yay, no problems.
Yay!
Yay.
We're not dead, or vaporized, or turned inside out.
Fun. Okay. Now then,
Just one sniff of that fog and you're inside out.
I believe you have finished step 1. Yes, you have. Welcome to step 2. Alright, there is one thing the captain knows he should probably do before he gives the command to enter the warp fully. Luck is a fairly large deal, and I don't mean that as in actual luck, I mean the concept of luck, the idea. It is not uncommon for captains to spend hour, maybe 2, sometimes more, simply doing a few basic superstitious practices for the crew's sake. Some of them might have everyone have an hour where they do nothing but stand at attention. They might have everyone pray to the Emperor. They might have... they might even do, like, specifically, this is a rather specific one, going around taking any games of chance, dice, cards, anything like that, and destroying them to literally remove chance from the equation, if so to speak.
Mm.
What
And this
Victor,
all
you
has to
want
be
to
done in
do?
real time. Goosen,
Yeah,
break out your headless chicken.
Whatever it is you want to do, guy, do it. You don't have to, but you need to devote at least an hour or so to ward off bad luck. Whether or not you want to spend that extra hour warding off bad luck is entirely up to you.
One wonders how these people develop space travel.
When they were a lot smarter and had the God Emperor around. It's kind of like if you gave cars to medieval peasants. They could probably drive them, but fix them?
I totally want to see that now. That somebody needs to make a movie.
Oh, what to do with this?
Time is pressing, but you did save a very great... It did not take nearly as long as you may have expected to perform the appeasement.
Yep.
So,
Just thinking of what specifically to do.
there's a number of tricks and things to do. Anything that you think would ward off bad luck or discourage ill rumor.
Break all the mirrors and then walk under all the ladders.
Yeah, that could do it.
Throw black cats in front of your path.
Again, he may have an entire supply of black cats he keeps just for this purpose. I'm not kidding. There's some weird shit you could do.
For
Okay.
those listening, he is simply Skullhead is simply asking the captain to lend flavor to this.
Yes. I'm going to say, besides the airlocks, we're going to open every door on the ship.
Ah, very well. So you are letting the demons out quite literally.
Yes. Except, not letting all of our air out with them.
Yes, you need that.
Hey, I'm
So-
navigating here.
After a rough
except the
hour
navigator's
of...
door. We're not opening the navigator's door.
What's funny is it does take you roughly an hour to open every door, because not every door opens through a system. Some have to be manually open, some just flat out don't want to fucking open, so you gotta pull those open. So it does take you an hour.
We're opening
But-
every door but one. And the airlocks.
Yes, and the airlocks. And the ritual is completed, and the crew seems a bit more well at ease, even if, that may be catching up. Alright,
Rod!
Except for deck 50, they need to
Alright,
shower
now
more.
I need to roll a thing. Alright. Double checking.
Appeasement failed, you all died. Good game, everybody. Good game.
That could happen, but we're not there yet. Okay, good news. Luckily, the crew's morale, although it could be better, is good enough to not circulate certain rumors, let's call it. So, the crew, steadfast in their belief of the captain's ability and their new navigator's desire to live, get ready to enter the warp in full. Alrighty. It is time to enter the warp. You hit the go button. And everyone on this ship needs to make a willpower test.
Whoa.
I mean everyone. Whole crew.
Yeah.
Every person who is alive on this ship, make a willpower test. I'm not going to have the captain roll those, don't worry. I'll roll for the crew, you lot roll for your characters, alright?
How do you do that?
What's the mod on this?
I don't tell you.
Yeah, it's just a willpower test. That's one of your basic attributes.
I know,
Yeah, willpower
I have
is
someone
just-
that expects a very hard test, so...
Okay, so the same way you do a skill test then. Okay.
Yeah, everything is 1d100.
Okay, my willpower is 41.
Wow, that is as
Oh.
close as you could cut it. Keep going.
And of course I failed.
Great.
This is going to be fun.
And my willpower is 43.
Alright, so we have 2 failures of important members. Let's see.
Random question. Is it anything related to fear?
No, this is not a fear test.
I can re-roll those, so...
No.
I don't think I have anything that affects willpower.
Alrighty, let's see. Sorry, I have to math.
Yep.
Okay. I will roll this publicly, and we will do Dess's first.
Her head explodes. The end.
Alright. And now we will do our captains.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
That's the warp affecting your mind.
The good news is, by the look of those rolls, higher is better.
Actually, you both got the same thing. How weird is that?
Hmm.
Alright, let's see. All right, so you enter the warp. It is the warp. It is rough, it is strange, and it is full of confusion. It is very strange. Nothing makes particular sense. Like one moment a door might open one way, one that like you turn around to open the door and it opens the other way now. It's just that kind of crawling uncertainty, and it's constant. The Tao, with his alien mind, despite having never experienced this before, at least not in this sense, more or less shrugs this off. He just plows through, chants for the greater good once or twice, and all's well. The Navigator is powerful of will and has done this enough times to simply continue traveling the path. However, despite the captain's experience with such things, he, notices something rather odd going on. He peers over at Desdemona, who meets his eyes, and in the same moment, you both have the same realization. You're both hiding mutations. And in the case of the Sister of Battle, that's not good. I need you both to make perception checks. Perception tests, whatever you want to call them.
Whatever it is, yeah. Perception.
Both of you.
Right, that's what, an awareness test? Or just perception as the skill?
That's the attribute.
Characteristic, but yeah.
Right.
Whatever you want to call it. That thing.
As opposed to a skill that uses it.
Ugh.
So this is going to sound weird, but just run with it. Alright, so Sig looks to Des and realizes that her gaining a mutation just, like, it was nothing. That's not a tentacle she's hiding underneath that breastplate. That's just, if she is a mutant, she's either hiding it much better than you can detect, or it's nothing. Des, however, spies very clearly that arm is organic. It's not a mechanical arm coming out of his back at all. It's just an armored, like, crab arm or something he's put metal over. Mutant. You may now react accordingly to how you would act towards a mutant. Just usually burn it with fire, but, do what you want to do.
This is gonna end so poorly.
Oh god, why?
God damn it.
What on earth?
What picture? No!
Well, it's not that bad yet.
That's amazing.
For those wondering, that is an actual functional paintball gun.
My brain doesn't work.
That'll scare your opponents.
So, yes, the situation is, Des believes Sig is a mutant. And she's a Sister of Battle, so this will be fun.
Yeah, it's more or less a cry of mutant and her pistols coming up immediately.
Alright, how would thou like to deal with that? I will say for the moment, all of you except the Navigator obviously are on the command bridge.
How did she not murder me?
You're acceptable mutant.
Yeah,
There's
you're
a literal
acceptable
list of
psyker.
mutants that are
Like,
okay.
Yeah, that's
You're
sanctioned.
certified.
And people with crab arms coming out of their back are not on the list.
Well, that's too bad. That's racist.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to the
What's
Imperium.
your point?
Well, hearing mutant cry, Sig is gonna dive to the ground, because if she's shooting, he's not gonna be anywhere in front of that gun.
Fair enough. You're diving for cover. Des, you may take that as a certification of his guilt and do what you will. However, the crew around them are also starting to rise in panic. The 4 guys in here. Does Skith have anything to contribute to this?
I am not stupid enough to try and dive and knock the gun out of her hand or something, so in full knowledge that she seems to be pointing her gun at him, I'm simply going to hide behind the nearest console and or crew member.
Okay. Lol.
God damn it.
Alright, everyone has reacted to you pulling out your weapon. Des, what would you like to do with it? Sixman has dived out of the way, and the crew will react to whatever it is you plan to do. He is foul mutant, and that is bad.
I'm currently debating whether or not she would try to capture him or kill him. Because those are the only two options.
He is the captain, and they do generally represent an important factor of ship travel. At least as far as you can fucking determine, you don't know ships.
Yeah, that's the other problem. So she's gonna try to go non-lethal, I suppose. So stalking around after him.
Okay. As you try to stalk around after him, you are not entirely blocked off, but at least one crew member sort of approaches to calm you down. Make a perception roll.
Mutant!
He is also a mutant. He is clearly hiding an eyeball on the inside of his palm, because he keeps keeping that close to his chest. He is also clearly a mutant scum.
Zombies, they're coming right for us.
Well,
React
he's
to
in her
that
way.
as you will.
Yeah. Is he reaching towards her at all?
He is kind of in her way and making gestures and saying no, it's not like that.
Let's go with a backhand.
Okay. Weapon skill, please.
Wow, this whole ship's full of dirty mutants.
Funny enough, I can use the same die roll. She's not very particularly good at weapons.
Okay, you've hit him. Roll.
I guess it'd be.
It would just be strength plus a d5.
Right. Oh, wait. That's +3. Power armor has an extra
Oh, that's
10
fine.
strength.
Okay, so 7. Yeah, he down. He crumples to the floor, unconscious, and bleeding from, I'm going to say, the shoulder, because it was just kind of a swift backhand. In doing so, you glance over towards the rest of the crew, or at least the 3 remaining people who, 2 of them are basically just immediately ducking out of your sight. However, please roll me 3 perception checks. One of them is also a mutant. The one of those that ducked behind that table where you think the Tau went, clearly he is mutant. He is conversing with a Xenos. He must be half Tau or something.
The captain's more important.
True.
I need to get to the captain.
Alright, so you continue to stalk after him. Captain, what do you do? And, Skith, do you have anything to add to that?
Delicious floor.
How
A few of the
close is
crew are
she?
mumbling something around the idea of the space crazies. I will accept a common knowledge about the warp, anything to that degree.
Also, she's
Warp
probably
travel.
chanting by now, as a heads up.
She's what?
Chanting.
Ah, okay.
Well, I've got common lore tech, but I haven't got anything warp related.
Well, then no good.
How close is she?
At this point, your crew member did give you a little bit of distance. She would have to spend, as a reference, her whole action to get to you because of the stuff in the way.
Okay, but how many meters away from me is she?
Oh, meters? Less than 15. Number command decks are pretty big. Even yours is even yours with its minimal economy, it's big.
Well, in order to stay down behind the cover, I will use my mechadendrite to just kind of stick up over it and wave at her. What are you doing?
The mutant scum is waving his mutant appendage at you. What do you do?
Well, that's obviously an attack.
Clearly.
Yeah, she's gonna shoot at it.
Alright, ballistic scale roll.
Yeah, this is technically a called shot, so it's gonna be at penalty.
Yep.
But you're also at close range.
He is. You also have cover in a game
Say
called
goodbye
Shot.
to your mechadendrite.
Well, the Mechadendrite doesn't have cover, obviously.
Yes, but that's what the called shot is for. The rest of you, if she misses her called shot, it's going to hit the cover, so. Which may or may not break something inside the command deck. Isn't this fun? Isn't warp travel amazing?
Oh boy.
Okay, you've hit the Mechadendrite. I need a damage roll from your particular weapon. I don't think you can critically hit.
A limb?
Oh wait. Yeah.
That's not a limb. It's an object, and well, technically you can critically hit an object. Let's go see if that's within your I have critted range, which I think it is.
I should point out what kind of dumbass fires a weapon inside of a ship.
This dumbass.
Anyone on the Imperium?
Pretty much.
Seriously.
That
Also-
hole is so
Yeah.
thick you could sit there firing
Yeah, that's
at
the
it for
other
3
thing. The
days and
ship
not
is
get through it.
gigantic. We're probably not on the edge of it.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm serious. You could point your gun at the ceiling and fire for a day and not get through.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even make a hole. Let's see. Where is that?
Yeah, this is no tin-lined passenger airplane. This is a ship that's meant to resist ship weapons. The only thing we're going to damage is important systems, not the hull.
Yeah, here we go. Armor.
Oh, it's made of ceramite and steel.
That's why I'm looking in the armor. Okay. Well, we know where you hit.
Uh,
I just need to determine whether and what happens when you critically damage. Well, I'm going to have to go with logic on this one, because it is part of you, but it's not organic, so it doesn't hurt you. I'm going to rule, for now, because, again, we haven't played this before, and we haven't found the rules of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I will rule that you take 1 point of wound, and that arm is raffle wrecked. It's not unrepairable, but it's not working anymore.
Yeah.
And you take 1 wound.
She also has a talent that
From
ups
the
her crit
pain of it
damage,
basically
so-
wrenching in your shoulder and, like, almost tearing itself off you.
so here's the thing. Her craziness was that she thought that the arm was organic.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I will allow another perception check from her after seeing that. Stop rolling low.
Because it's obviously, sparking and...
Thank God, Christ on a biscuit. You
She's had a
realize,
bad
oh,
time.
that's mechanical because it just went sparky all over the place. That's not organic at all. But it looked so real, and you could like see it twitch, even as you realize it's mechanical because of the sparks. So you may not react to having your extra shoulder arm wrecked, just completely wrecked.
He's just gonna be on the floor. Because
Ow,
ow.
my shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna lower her gun and basically yell, "Sorcery!"
All right.
Stupidity!
Ah.
Are you done shooting at everything yet?
Well, while those two figure out whether or not, like, what
Yeah,
in God's
let-
name is
let-
going
let-
on.
Let
I-
Desdemona at least respond to that.
All right.
No, she's actually not going to respond. She's trying to figure out what's going on.
Ah,
Crazy eyes looking left and right.
Little dazed. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
he'll stick up his stub of an arm.
it doesn't even. It's not even like a stop. She shot the primary, the thick part of the crab's claw, if you would, and the thing won't even lift up. It's just it's
Yeah.
flopped at your side like it's dead.
Since bolter rounds also explode.
Yeah.
It's missing like a big chunk of it. It's not going anywhere. It's dead weight at this point. At least how you fix it.
Can I come out from behind the console now?
Yes, you're clean.
Standing up. I was clean to begin with.
Bang, 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 bang.
I'm gonna ask you again, seeing as how you just shot at me. Who are you?
I'm Sister Desdemona Theodocris, the Adepta Sororitas.
Because you are part of the Imperium, I will allow you to know that the Adeptus of that particular Battle Sisters, essentially girl Imperial Guards in better gear.
Hey, they're better trained than that.
Well, he doesn't know that.
Ah.
He knows they fight, they're all girls, and they have really nice toys. That's it. Also, they really like the Emperor, but who doesn't, you know?
Well, yeah, nuns.
Right. Just so you're aware, the Ecclesiarchy doesn't get much influence on my ship.
Well, that's just heresy.
You knew that already.
Yeah, I know, just throwing it out there.
That was established like 2 or 3 lifeboats ago.
I know, I'm pointing out, that's, just say it like that is just, you know,
Yep, yep.
extra heresy for you.
I shall now cautiously stand up from behind my console.
I don't think so, no. I think it is literal nonage, so they are married to the God Emperor, and no, you can't touch his bitches.
Yeah, they're colloquially the brides of the Emperor, so good luck on that one.
That's not going to stop me from trying.
You do realize you commune directly with the Emperor's rough psychic entity to travel through space, so he could literally squash you? Like, out of anyone in the universe that he could squash, you're on the list.
Yay.
Alright, continue your conversation about that.
No. Sig is actually gonna leave, assuming that, the Navigator's taking them through the warp without, us needing to do anything.
Sort of. I need our lovely navigator to perform his first task. Locate the Astronomicon, which is basically the fixed point at which you use to travel through the warp. Without it, it'd be almost impossible. I need you to make a science check.
Cynicians.
Cynicians, I said it again. Damn it. Cynicians. I need you to make a check, okay?
It starts with a P, ends with science.
I have a 33.
Ooh.
Okay, let me check something.
That is
All
not
right.
Polaris, that is
You
a dark
cannot
elder
locate the
star.
Astronomicon. The world is dark and full of terrors. There is no song, there is only the twisting terror. Alright, I will make note of that.
Your mind is eaten by a grue.
Not that bad yet.
Get your Cynician score higher.
Not my mind. I didn't know how this worked. I thought navigation warp would be most of it.
Oh, here we go.
Now, while this is going on, I have a laboratorium. I'm going there to repair this mechadendrite.
Okay. Take a Vox with you.
There's a Vox in there.
Good.
It's part of the ship.
Alright,
It's
I
shitty
need...
Vox,
So
but
you
it
are
has a
now
Vox.
traveling through the ether. I now need what looks like another... Oh, navigation warp test. That's what I need.
Oh, good. That's a good one. I have 51 in that.
Alright. Let's see. That is some degrees. What was your score? 51?
Yep.
Another system with degrees of success.
Hooray. I hope it has Thaco too.
All right. You believe, let's see. I just need to double check. There's a lot of background math for me.
And you are rolls dice.
All right, you
Not
believe the duration
exploded.
of the travel, thanks to your skill, primarily, will actually only take you 9 days, not the initial 12 you believed. You were able to, despite this being an indirect route, find something of a time warp shortcut, let's call it. And let's put it this way, the less time you spend in the warp, the better.
We are now all younger than our grandparents.
Taking a shortcut. Nothing ever goes bad when you do that.
Well, let's see what happens then. Let's see. Here we go. We are now going to steer the vessel. Okay, I need a whatever test from you.
Signitions.
Signitions. I'm not going to be able to say that.
My significant is still 33.
Okay, well, you failed that spectacularly. Yeah.
The good news is, eventually you won't have to be rolling anymore.
Yeah, you fucking will. This isn't the stuff you don't get to skip. Alright.
I think he meant that we'll be dead.
Alright, bad news, everyone. Okay, so as he is steering the vessel through warp, he fails to notice until it literally scrapes across your hull an etheric reef, a literal twisting forest of what you think might be bone, it's hard to say, that's just kind of hurtling through the warp. It actually rams against the vessel itself, causing damage.
If anyone thinks they can do better, they're welcome to try. Just saying.
That much damage. It ignores all void shields, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yep,
That's the damage your ship takes.
Well, we got 20 armor.
For the purposes of it, just goes straight to the whatever you use for HP on that thing.
That would be the whole integrity, I assume.
Then you use that.
It goes through the armor as well?
For it, I'm not sure. I think armor might be the HP.
Well, we've got armor and hull integrity.
Well,
Yes.
figure out which one it is.
Structural
You're the captain
integrity
here.
is the HP, but armor should reduce that if shields are a separate thing.
Oh yeah,
there's
it does
shields,
ignore the
armor,
shields.
and hull.
It ignores all void shields. It just says it takes flat damage, so please figure out where that applies.
Yeah, that should probably go to the armor before it starts affecting hull integrity, I think.
Yeah, I think it starts chipping away at the armor, but let's double check that.
Yep.
Otherwise, what's the point of armor?
To look good.
No, that's the point of the armor from the future, from Endgame, and I don't know why everything keeps coming back to that.
Because you keep making it.
Well, it looks cool.
Damage and defenses. Okay, the armor value is subtracted from the damage total. If the result is 0 or less, the target's armor has successfully protected the vessel. It's the same as armor on people.
So it just
Cool.
reduces incoming damage.
Since
Oh,
it
lucky for you, the Aether Reef, your big bulky ship, could not give less of a damn.
Yeah, because we have 20 armor, or something like that. Yeah, 20 armor. You need to hit with more than 20 damage at once to actually get through the hole.
The hull just You shatter the bone field like it's, well, made of bone, and you're driving a big metal scary ship. Luckily, this danger was easily surpassed by simple virtue of having a big damn ship.
Fear the turbulent.
Alright.
Right, repairing the mechadendrite.
I will address something that's happening during this process. Des, it doesn't take very much time from there, once you've calmed down a bit, to realize you're suffering from hallucinations, basically. And funnily enough, so is Sigmund. Both of you, every time you look at someone, there's a greater than 50% chance you think they have a mutation. Luckily, you were able to get yourselves under control in time, and there's not a lot of people in here to look at. So...
And Sig was mostly just hiding behind something while he's being shot at.
Exactly. So as long as you don't... As long as you trust your crew and try not to panic and hope nothing else happens, you have this particular problem in your head under control.
And on the plus side, mutations aren't really a tech priest thing.
Yeah,
Like,
not
I mean, they're-
really.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
mean,
mean
they're
there's going to
bad.
be handling it by praying and just reverting to that.
It'd just be, like, if a tech priest comes across a mutant, it's just, oh, okay, avoid the mutant, stay away from them. That's about it.
Good news is, this process of travel has taken roughly 5 days, which is why you've calmed
Well,
down
I've got
significantly.
repairing to do.
And you may now roll your repair check on your thingamabob. Multiple times, in fact.
There's a very low chance of me failing.
I'm aware, I'm just saying you have enough time here, because it took
No,
roughly 5
I'm
days
just-
to get to the bone field.
I'm just mentioning because I mentioned that laboratorium, right?
You are. It's very fancy.
Plus 20 bonus to all tests to identify, analyze, and repair artifacts of ancient or Xenos origin.
I don't know if your mecha arm counts as either of those.
Yeah. But it also
That's
works
just
on
a
tests to
common Imperium
craft
tech right there.
items. It also works on tests to craft items that include scholastic lore, forbidden lore, tech use, and trade tests.
Ah, well, that will come into play. Make your roll.
Yeah.
It's not a particularly difficult one. It took some serious damage, but you have the shit needed. Yep, you're good.
Only the
your
one?
bonuses already cover that for the most part.
Yeah, that would succeed even without my bonuses, so...
Yeah, you're good. It only takes you a day of work to repair it back to full functionality. As far as you can tell, it's not as good as new, but it's as good as it can be.
It'll work.
Yep.
And Desdemona gets a withering look the next time I see her.
During the few days, obviously the navigator must be plugged in at all times, consistently flying. The captain also needs to be awake for most of the time. You probably could catch a few hours of sleep if you desired. Is anyone staying up for any particular length of time? Do you sleep each day? Do you not? Funnily enough, remember that shit you're plugging into you? Some of those are linked to nutrient fats.
Okay.
Well, you clench your bum really hard.
No!
Wow, you can shoot web?
He is a Xeno.
They could do anything.
So my question is, during this initial 5-day period, after you've dealt with what is essentially a really annoying scraping sound across the hull, what do you do for now during the travel?
Don't have any reason to not go as normal.
I'm just checking.
These fellow heads of the ship's various sections. Here is an evaluate, which is not very good. It's versus 50 here.
They're mostly human.
Yeah. I was hoping to figure out whether they were the kind of folk whom I can try to befriend and get along with without having to carouse.
The best you can figure is that they're human, and there are humans who follow the greater good. You keep them in camps and only let them have certain influences allowed. So
Well-
they're probably not that kind.
They get a little more freedom than that, I like to think, but sure.
No, they don't. But you can, believe what you want, guy.
They have a whole planet to themselves.
Fair enough.
not allowed to leave it. Why would we want them to do that?
There might be outside influences, other thoughts.
Yeah, come on. That's how this thing works.
Indeed. So it's unlikely these are followers of the greater good. They might be pliable to it, but that's another thing entirely. That's about all you're going to get.
In that case, over these next few days, I am simply going to find out just what these folks' attitudes are towards my people with inquiry, and I'll piece things together later. That is versus 65. So anyone who will
Luckily
talk
for
to
you,
me, I just
nothing
want to
else
find out.
seems to be...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to
Well-
find out, the general attitudes of the ship's leaders towards my kind, and how likely I am to continue to have a place here on the inside of the hull.
2 of 3 would eject you immediately. 2 of 5 would eject you immediately. 1 of 5 would wait until you're not looking and then eject you. Another 1 of 5 couldn't really care as long as you don't do something stupid. And the last one is not okay with Xenos, but he sees no reason not to just let you on your way when you want to go. Like, he's not going to impede you in any way. At least that's the impression you're getting from the looks, gestures, and, occasional invoking the Emperor and trying to hit you with something.
Right.
Usually something
so
blunt and
when,
nearby.
When I sleep, it's with a dresser against the door. Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unfortunately, they're those sliding doors.
Yeah. But there's still a dresser in the way, so...
The dresser falls over.
Alright, so...
That hurt my
luckily
foot.
for
That's a
you,
slight
thanks to the
inconvenience.
skill primarily of your navigator, nothing else bad immediately happens. A few more days pass in, not calm, but they pass. That's something. And hey, you're not consumed by the warp. That's fun. And you attempt to make re-entry into reality. Alright, let's determine a couple things.
We re-enter reality inside of a star.
You say that. That is entry number 7 on the table that he is rolling on as you speak.
Alright, I need a navigation warp test.
Again,
From
this is
the navigator, obviously.
this is versus 51.
Mhm.
Son of a bitch.
Alright then, well, unfortunately, the Astronomicon still fails to appear.
Reveal itself.
You're still in the dark, alone.
No, that movie's awful.
Yes, it is.
Alright. Okay, I need to make a roll.
And we materialize inside of a star.
Okay. Despite your great skill at navigating the warp, despite the lack of the Astronomicon, the lack of a fixed point meant that pretty much no matter what you were doing, you're not going to arrive quite on target. Though it's not as bad as you thought it would be. You are only 2 days of real-time space travel off from your destination. We may now move to the star chart map. Unless you're already there, in which case, whatever.
I did a pretty good job considering I failed 3/4 of my rolls.
Skullhat, did I
You
get
got
you to...
lucky on time and on rolls, to be honest. You got some of the less terrible stuff.
Skullhat, could I get you to press Control E, then Control F to bring the stream viewer over to that map? Thank you.
Yep. Welcome to the Notre system. It took you an extra 2 days of real space flying, which is essentially just, full speed ahead. But you have arrived at the outer reaches. Your knowledge of the system is basically non-existent. You can determine that the star is a yellow-orange, which is to say it's not a bright, vibrant, healthy yellow. It's got some age to it, but it's functional. And there is at least one planet in the system, called Quasimodo, that has a semi-imperial presence. Further than
Okay.
that, a few things happen immediately. Because, of course they do.
Reavers come out of the walls.
So almost the moment you arrive here, everyone aboard this ship has just a feeling, like a bad feeling, like this is not a place that's okay. Despite how it may look or what you may feel, something is invisibly wrong here. The crew is actually very unsettled by this collectively. They've not exactly had the best week ever, and the travel through the warp had that whole scraping thing, and there's apparently rumors that one of the new guys aboard went crazy and tried to shoot the captain or something. So not good position. I need someone aboard this ship to make a charm or intimidate test to try and get the crew back in line, or at least to squash these terrible rumors.
I am not the most personable in either direction.
Hey,
I have a 29.
I think I can try and whip the crew back into shape.
I can roll a 10. Everyone loved
I'm thinking the
Desdemona.
Tau
She's
wants
great.
to probably wants to do this one. So I will allow
Probably.
anyone else to also try. It's just failure is bad news. Just saying.
Crew
So,
of the
Xenoscum, how do you
crew.
want to squash rumor
You
and
keep
make the
talking
crew?
at the same time. Stop it.
Yeah,
No.
sorry. Faithful crew of the SS Garbage. God damn it, not again. Faithful crew of the Nihilist. Say it out loud like that. We have emerged safely from the warp. Though we have suffered many perils on our journey here, we are all intact, alive, and here there is civilization to be seen, and sunlight, glorious sunlight, and no sign at all of the horrible purple glow of the warp. I am using a charm to try and brighten everyone's spirits. Skill is 65.
No.
Whoops.
Well, I need to make a roll.
No.
And then the rioting begins.
Let's
All right.
kill the Xeno.
That sounded like a towel.
Calm down, you crazy sons of bitches. The crew loses 2 points of morale. They start at 100 normally. Yours started at, after your techniques and all that, 90. You are now 2 lower than that. So, Captain, please keep track of your crew morale, because it is
88.
currently at 88. You don't want it dropping below certain numbers.
So buy them lots of beer.
And horse.
That is actually an option to increase their morale, yes.
Amazing.
I put a thing for morale on the ship's token.
What, would they raise their morale by racing them on tracks?
The only way to improve morale is to do stuff for them, you knucklehead.
He's being an alien. Leave him alone.
Alright, so 88 has no direct effect for now. Just keep in mind that is the current morale. So, try not to do shit to lower it.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like
All
backhand
right,
the crew members?
I now need a... Let's see, I need to double check. Alright, I need a... Yes, scrutiny and or detection... Yeah, it looks like scrutiny or detection test from... I guess the captain and the navigator.
Detection?
It says detection or scrutiny. No, it's a scrutiny test to detect something, is the best way to describe it.
Okay. Detection in parentheses.
Yes.
Such
Is
as
this a thing done with the ship?
You're using the
The auger.
consoles to try and locate something. Something that's not on the ship.
scrutiny, which is perception based.
Which I do not have points in.
Neither do
I'm
I.
allowing both the navigator and the captain to do it because they're the two people who would, so...
Let me check the auger array really quick.
I mean, I have points in scrutiny.
If the captain says,
Of course, I don't think the captain's trusting me with any part of his ship right now.
yeah, there's that. Yeah, you did try and shoot him, and did shoot him. So yeah, never mind.
Okay, so we do get a +5 bonus to the ship's detection.
All right. Keep that in mind as you make your rolls.
Because the auger array is good.
That's good. That might help.
Can we hire someone with good perception for you?
Well, in that
it's-
case, I have a total of 21 to a scrutiny roll. Woo.
It is, there's not really an NPC who's going to be doing better than you guys, let's put it that way, not on this ship. Wow, okay, so, Navigator. The Navigator sees his hands. Very nice. You know, in the green glow of your own
No reason not to
glow of
try.
your own eye.
Nope, that ain't working.
Okay.
If I
My eye
happen-
doesn't glow green, it's black
if
as
I
the void.
happen to be aboard in the bridge and I just happen to notice something on a nearby console,
I will allow you to also both. Since you guys are on the command deck at the moment and kind of drift towards there, I will allow everyone to make this roll. So yes, the Battle Sister and the Tau may both kind of peer over the
Scrutiny.
shoulder of the two, well, specifically of the captain.
Yay!
all right.
Oh, thank God.
I won't bother with mine then, because mine is untrained as well, and it's a 21.
I'm the only
Right
one that
then.
has training in scrutiny.
So,
My class doesn't
thank
give
you
it
for
to me.
seeing this.
Mine doesn't either.
All right, so you notice, thankfully, probably why everyone felt, spooked when they got here. There is at least this gravity tide, which are strange warps in literal reality caused by, well, gravity, the warp, and fuck all. They're bad news to get stuck in. If you hadn't spotted this one, you probably would have run right into it. However, the good news, now that you know it's there, maneuvering out of the way is a little easier to perform. I would like a pilot spacecraft, specifically in the maneuverability trick, to avoid this from, well, whoever would like to drive the ship right now.
Well, our navigator is the one with pilot. But I believe stuff changes on what the ship's actual maneuverability score is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I can
Oh, that's
pilot
why it
my
says
ship
plus
from where I
detection. It
am.
means the detection of the ship. That's what it is. So yeah, so it's your pilot. It's your pilot test plus the maneuverability of the ship to avoid this gravity tide. Rolled by whoever is piloting the damn thing.
I don't believe I can actually pilot the ship from where I am, so somebody else has to.
There you are then.
Wouldn't you have crew that does it?
He would if he himself is not trained in it. Usually the captain's job is to pilot the damn thing. If he's not, then yeah, he has helmsman.
I don't believe I have anything in pilot because
All right, you
tech
have a
priests, because tech priests do not get that.
Right, this is why you usually have a rogue trader in charge.
Yeah,
Right,
well,
then.
meh.
Well, I hope you enjoy having a total test range of 20, because that's what you got for the
Yeah,
helmsman.
hang on. I'm checking what the maneuverability of the ship does.
It should have a maneuverability score, so
It does, yeah, but what does that do?
you add it to his pilot roll to
Wait,
determine whether or not he fails or succeeds.
Wait,
okay.
I only need to be in the navigation chamber for warp travel, don't I?
Yes, this is not warp travel, so you may leave the navigation chamber.
Oh, yeah.
So the second
Okay,
you
well
guys pop
then
out,
I would have rested and I'd been on the command center then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's just
there you
leave
are
that
then.
down.
We've been in normal
I-
space for 2 days.
because
I
once
can
you're out
pilot
of the
ship
warp,
then.
you can close your warp eye and stop, murdering anything near you and leave.
Okay, well I can pilot the ship when we're not in warp then.
Good. So you don't need a
Awesome.
helmsman.
You have a pilot roll with 23 added to it.
Okay,
Right.
so
Well, 23
pilot-
your skill and what is successes, not to the roll.
Yeah.
I also have every kind of navigation when we need it. So
All right, you
The
probably
ship
are really
has
awesome at this.
maneuverability of 23, so...
Since you're so great at this and you know these things, there's also the option of using the gravity well to shoot the rapids, so to speak, to use the speed generated from the tide's churning vortex of gravity to launch yourself at great speed.
A
This lets
slingshot
you
maneuver.
essentially skip a few days. Basically, you go so fast that you actually get there faster, right? Just there's always the danger that if you don't perform it correctly, you actually fall into the gravity well, and that's bad news. So
If I pull this off, everyone will think I'm a legend.
Probably.
Or you'll kill all of us, and I'll make sure to shoot you myself before the rest of us die.
There's also that.
And we'll all die legends. I don't think he sees the problem.
It is entirely up to the helmsman. No one will know what he's doing until he's done it.
Sorry, I get plus 23 on this?
Yes.
Simply tell me whether you're just trying to avoid it or try and ride the rapids.
I'd like it to be a total of 70. But I've been rolling really bad.
Doesn't that mean you're due for some good rolls?
Yeah, I'll take the risk. I'm stupid. Let's do it.
Also,
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna
35.
plonk this there. Okay. You got a little on the lucky side.
That's 35 versus 70, so yeah.
Not versus 70. This isn't a. This is not a challenging.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's his base number right now.
Yep. You have successfully performed the maneuver. You can shoot the rapids. Let's see. How many days you shave off?
I'm a legend.
You shave 2 days off your travel. Fwing! That would put you. Let's see.
Should we make the ship
That's when the
out of
smaller?
captain
reach.
smacks me in the back of the head.
So you are still. You're roughly there, give or take. You're still a fair distance away. You haven't traveled the system, know exactly how far you are away, but you have to put it at like 2 weeks to get to Quasimodo, you'd guess. However, he shaved 2 days off it.
Well, let's see if I can make that more accurate. Navigation stellar at 41.
Ah, fair enough.
No, I cannot.
Oh.
Nope, you have no real
So
idea.
actually, how does Navigation Stellar work? Is that based off of any stats the ship could help with?
Yeah, the ship should have an array that helps with that, shouldn't it?
It has a +5 to it. So that actually would save you and let you make
Well,
your...
actually, oh wait, we did this wrong. The ship has a total detection of 20.
Yeah, but the array is what's giving him his bonus. His role is he's using weird psychic navigatorness, not the ship's...
Okay, yeah, but the auger array
Systems.
does give a +5.
Yeah, that will help him. The systems of the ship are way more limited than his power is. They can't detect that fucking far. Right, so thanks to the systems of the ship giving you a rough idea of just like you to that, like to add mixture, for example, you know that from one end to the other in a straight shot, pretending the sun is not in the way, it's 3 weeks to get from one end to the other. Since you started on the outermost layer and are heading towards the primary biosphere, it should only take you another week and 3 days to get to Quasimodo of just traveling. You're not sure whether or not there'll be more gravity riptides or weird shit on the way, but that's how long it's going to take.
Did you just slingshot us around a gravity well?
He did.
let him answer.
Yes, I did. Where I just took 2 days off of our travel time.
Did you actually know that was going to work?
Of course.
Roll bluff, asshole.
Deceive.
I have a 29.
What do I have to do to
You have to
counter
use
that?
scrutiny.
Scrutiny?
Roll your scrutiny against it. He succeeded by quite a bit.
I'd have to roll something similar. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh no, you totally believe
He's
me.
the
This
best
guy knows
navigator
what he's
ever.
doing.
Alright, I'm not a navigator.
For reference, this ship is driven by a gigantic captain's wheel. It has that. How many slots do you have?
Yeah, I'm still here. This map tool crashed.
Pity.
On my way back in.
Okay. Right, so unless you all have something in particular to do, I'm going to roll a couple things, and we'll see.
Do I know that they brought my ship here?
Do you know what?
Do I know that they brought my ship here?
Oh, your ship? Your ship is either a pretzel or left without you.
No, my
No, no. His
vehicle.
His precious
Oh,
sauce.
that, yes. No, yeah, you were able to figure that out, once you were out of the hole and bothered to go look. So, yes, they actually...
I'm
took
going
your
to
ship.
go. Yeah, I'm gonna go down there and inspect the damage and see how my crew is.
On the way, I will remind you of something you may do. Because you have never traveled that particular warp route before, and you did rather okay, all things considered, you are allowed to make a test to attempt to make a chart, which would allow you to go back and forth between there and here. I don't know if you want to bother because there is a rolling hell zone and here is not, and I don't know if you want to travel between those two areas frequently, but you can if you want to.
That could be helpful. I'll make my... It's a trade astrographer test, I'm assuming?
It is... Moment.
Or is it navigation warp? Because trade astrographer is for actually making a map.
Navigation warp, actually.
That works out better for me. 51.
Yeah.
Alright, just checking. You have successfully created a detailed chart. So, I will also point out that this has another use besides just allowing you to more easily get between here and there, because this chart specifically charts from the outer reaches of the Notre system to wherever in the fuck name that was. We'll call it the fuck box. I don't know. Now, although if that's not useful to you technically, it is useful, very useful to any of the Astronomicon houses. Any house representative of the navigators will pay vast sums for charts, even stupid charts that lead fucking nowhere, as long as it's a chart of the warp going from point A to point B. At some point, they're going to use it, and it'll be useful to them. Therefore, it is worth exactly 1 profit point.
Cool.
If you can find someone specifically of those houses to get it to.
Cool.
I'm assuming I can keep copies for me.
Oh yeah, you can always keep copies for you, and they will give a rather specific bonus to taking that route again. I think it's a plus 10 for a detailed route, or it's 20. It's a pretty big bonus. It
That
makes
is
travel
awesome.
between routes way easier. That's the point of them.
Well, I'm going to go down to my ship and inspect it and make sure and see if my crew got here too, or if I need to pull new people from here.
Well, the good news is your crew is here. They apparently have been camped inside this your vessel for the last, I believe it's been 9 days, plus an extra couple. Yeah, they've been here for about like 2 weeks inside your ship, more or less bolting themselves in and eating what supplies were aboard. They're pretty happy to see you, because as far as they know, outside the ship they're in currently, they don't know anything.
Well, I keep quarters on this ship, so it would be... So yeah, I'm gonna rest for
Which is
a bit
why
in
they
there.
were aboard, just kind of hiding.
The ship's fine if you guys want to go take a look around. We're relatively safe here.
They got food that isn't just corpse starch.
I haven't been to the cafeteria yet. I've been plugged into the navigation station, so maybe.
No, I'll go check, guys. He stalks out in the same way you might stalk out into the jungle full of tigers.
Boss, thank God. Last time we saw you, you were slung over a sister a battle shoulder, and there was a Tau beside her. We were afraid they'd eaten you.
We were afraid they were just illusions of our own mental problems.
No, I'm quite fine. I'm just going to rest for a bit and then go eat something. I keep my quarters on this ship, so.
Which is fair enough. It's in need of new food that isn't corpse starch. I'll point that out.
I can resupply, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can. No trouble there. Your crew of your particular little vessel and the crew of the ship at large, they're not hostile, but it's going to take a bit before they're chums. Regardless, is there anything else anyone else wants to do while normal traveling towards Quasimodo?
Well, I'll double check that there's no actual damage to the ship, but I'm assuming there isn't.
Luckily, the armored hull kept out the worst of whatever in God's name was scraping across it. So, yeah, you seem okay.
I shall continue my efforts to ingratiate myself to the important command staff, including the captain, Let him know I have transferable skills.
So the Tau starts flirting with you. At least you think he's flirting. It's hard to really tell with Tau. I mean, the only thing you really know about them is they're obsessed with this greater good thing, and occasionally they'll, seduce people and take them off to planets where they're never heard from again.
Are you coming on to me?
I mean, he's Xeno scum. What do you expect?
I said I'd give you a ride. Not giving you that.
Well, yes, but I get the impression that it might be much more in both of our interests for me to apply my skills here among the known quantity of my fellow outcasts than wherever it is we may be going.
And what skills would those be?
Well, I was a competent bureaucrat back home.
You realize
I can fill out paperwork.
this is a warship, right?
A warship uses ammunition, does it not?
Yes.
A warship needs fuel, does it not?
Yes.
I am a competent bureaucrat. I am expert in the art of manipulating markets to make the greater good happen in the places it needs to. The local maxima of greatness, if you would.
We'll see how it goes when we get to Quasimodo, maybe.
Just if you have need of such skills as I have, I would be happy to ingratiate myself upon you.
I assumed you'd be wanting to get back to Tau space.
That's not perhaps the focus of what I was sent out here to do.
You screwed up, and you know they're not going to like that, isn't it?
That ship screwed itself up. I had nothing to do with it, and, well, I certainly don't want to make all of the effort, time, expense, training that was spent on me moot by just returning home with a fresh tail attached to me and then kicked in.
Definitely some different imagery there.
During the long voyage, I need another scrutiny plus detection. So your skill scrutiny plus the detection of the ship test from everyone currently aboard, which the command deck, which is everyone because it doesn't take you very long to slap the button and say, "Hey, get up here."
Okay, so we got it wrong last time. This time, add to whatever your scrutiny is, 20.
All right. 41. No.
Hey! Alright, that detects another gravity tide. Apparently this place is fucking thick with them. I think we know what we need to do now. You may either make a pilot plus the maneuverability of the ship check to avoid it, or a pilot check plus the maneuverability of the ship to ride the rapids and speed yourselves up further.
I think I'm just going to avoid it this time.
Make your roll.
Add 23 to your pilot, and there you go.
Yeah, it's a 70.
Hooray!
No trouble. You're very easily able to just go round. Once you know it's there, easily avoided.
I wasn't as confident I could ride that one.
You're the navigator.
It's not long after you pass by that particular that you finally more or less arrive at Quasimodo. Quasimodo is, well, in theory, a hive world, or at least was. It's more like a hive world that tried to exist on a death world and mostly failed.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it is covered, for the most part, in a combination of terrain types, forest, plains, mountains. It doesn't immediately look hostile, but you can tell that if there's only one hive city there, it's probably hostile enough to keep most people out. Its most wide areas are definitely its forests, which are... They're halfway between tropical and that word.
Coniferous?
Thank you. I keep pronouncing it as carnivorous, and I'm like, well, no.
No, that's our navigator.
A few notable things you can see from space. A lot of forest. There are some plains. A definite swamp. There's actually a swamp that kind of encircles the planet like a ring. It's just kind of, here is the swamp, and it's North Pole to South Pole, if you're curious. It is Earth-like in terms of its tilt is Earth-like. That is to say, it has seasons more or less, and one's North and South poles are colder. That ring there does exist. You're guessing it's most likely a moon or multiple moons or asteroids or something that just got mushed basically over time. It's not particularly dangerous, thankfully, as while it is big, it's also thin. So as long as you're above it or below it, it's not a problem. It's not going to change on you and consume your ship, is my point. Let's see. What else would you see from space? It only has one major continent, and that's where the Hive City is. It does have a lot of really small, not much bigger than Japan-sized, lesser land masses that sort of spread out from there. But it is just the one big continent. Pangea-like is a good word. And on that continent is the one major city, the Hive City, which you can tell because, well, duh, that's what it is. That's going to have a massive population and supplies you need. Whether or not you choose to land on is your own damn business. Well, land, meaning get yourself in a nice orbit, then send down a ship.
No, we're totally just going to drive straight into the planet.
One single moon.
This Intrepid-class battleship is capable of landing.
Do I need to do a navigation warp to crash the ship into the planet?
No, you can do that for free.
Have it explode!
I will point out that the moon
game's over,
has
but we
an
killed that
atmosphere.
hive world.
You can't tell a whole lot besides that the moon has an atmosphere, but it does. Theoretically, you could get on the moon. It doesn't have any obvious signs of, city or tribal life or anything like that. So the moon isn't populated, and it has an atmosphere, and that's about all you know.
I claim the moon.
Obviously, we should test our weapon systems on the moon.
It doesn't seem to have any obvious landmarks like mountains or anything. It's got a landmass, but no oceans. So...
Well, obviously, we'll make some landmarks. We'll make giant craters.
Let's carve our name in it.
Well, the thing is, it has an atmosphere, so you can't clearly see everything you'd want to.
Well, let's get in orbit.
Alright, do you want to orbit around the moon or around the planet proper?
The planet. Let's resupply, yeah.
Alright, planet it is. I'm presuming you want to go down to the Hive City.
Where else would we go?
I'm asking because you can go anywhere you want in this universe, sucker.
Well, yeah, let's go to the Hive City first.
Let's just land the whole ship right in the middle of the Hive City.
Again, you can't land this thing. It just sort of crashes.
That works.
Exactly.
That works.
We want a nuclear fireball.
Okay, nice campaign.
well-
I guess you just killed yourselves and everyone else.
No,
Good job.
We'll ram the ship into the planet, and this is my ship.
Alright, how would you like to make landfall?
Well, let's use my ship.
Alright, if you're offering.
That's what I got it for.
The question is, does the captain even want my character along right now?
It's better than
This is
leaving
the
you on
only
the
place
ship.
you could drop these fuckers off, so yes.
Yeah, there's that, and it's better than leaving you alone on the ship.
Fine.
Okay, well, I'm gonna gather my crew back, and let's go to my ship then.
Alright.
I'll take Raleigh Astra to the surface.
Getting to the surface is basically as easy as it could be. I will like a pilot roll from you, but the difficulty is so low. Don't roll 100, okay?
Sure, pilot spacecraft is 37. Does the ship give you anything for it, or?
I believe your ship should
This
have a
would be
maneuverability,
your ship.
same as the big ones do, so...
Okay, I'll have to look it up just a sec.
Alright, take your time. Like I said, just the ease of how this is done, it already gives you lots of bonuses, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now, getting out of the planet, different story. Falling and not crashing
yeah.
is easier than...
Maneuverability, +0. Okay.
Yeah, well, there you go then. This isn't too hard. It's just enter planet and not crash at the end. We'll get to the landing in a bit, but getting in the planet, that's easy.
Sure, my pilot spacecraft is 37.
You succeed. I told you, it's easy as shit to fall towards the gravity.
I'm
Alright,
worried
so
about whether
you
I land my damn thing
enter
now.
Quasimodo's atmosphere. It's not instantly lethal. That's good. But yeah, as far as you can tell, its atmosphere is healthy. Its temperature outside, once you get past, the entry point, not that bad. It's not any... You could walk around without wearing protective gear, including the Tau.
So just
And
like
the
Mars
world,
in
just
old
looking
sci-fi
over
movies.
it with your various systems and out the window, it's pretty vibrant with life. Lots, like I said, there's a lot of forest, so there's a lot of trees, and there's definitely life in it. Like, it's moving around. You can occasionally see, using your instruments, like heat signatures moving around, that in big groups usually. More horrifying stuff. Fun.
Oh God, why?
Because he has found your weakness and will exploit it.
Oh, so they don't continue on forever. That's boring.
Right. So, the Hive City. The first thing that happens is your Vox crackles and demands to know... let's see. It would most likely be this person. What you doing here? You may respond with whatever the fuck you want.
Sorry, what sort of individual does this appear to be? And
None. It's over the Vox. You're coming in for... Well, you need permission to land, theoretically, so...
ATC. That's the captain and pilot's concern. I'll stay out till they ask for me.
Well, I am the captain of this ship, so...
This is true.
Hmm.
That was against my... Fellowship's 58. I'm not sure what skill you want, but we're just coming in to resupply. We need some supplies for our ship.
I'm going to take it as a charm. Oh! Yes.
My charm is 29, then.
I'd like to say that's alright. I mean, you're not Xenos, right?
I'll
no, I am
lead
not.
over. We're operating under a warrant of trade.
Alright. Docking 12. It
Thank
goes
you.
silent at that point, and, well, you know where to
And-
park.
And that's when I crash my ship right into the side of the building.
I do kind of need a pilot roll to land,
Oh,
and this
boy.
one's actually, Oh,
Oh
well,
God,
there it goes.
why? We're so
It
low.
was nice owning a ship.
The good news is, landing is... If he's trained in it, it's not impossible. It's just... You rolled really bad.
No, the good news is 9/11 was last month.
Oh.
Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I am checking...
Trigger warning.
Okay, what's the armor on this thing?
Oh God, why?
Front 40.
Okay,
Good.
you got a little lucky here. You don't land so much as gracefully crash.
We leave
It
a
looks
few
like
marks
you're
in
coming
the
in
landing
okay. Then you realize you're coming in way too fast. Luckily, there is a pile of... Well, it's probably supplies or something of at least vague importance that you can plow into to slow yourself down just enough to start scraping your way across the landing pad until you come to a halt. So, the front nose is scraped up something terrible, and you're pretty sure you probably killed at least one dock worker, or probably a servitor, so no one cares, but probably. But you've landed. Sort of.
Oh, well, they'll buff that up when we get back to the ship. It'll be fine.
How your the rest of the crew, who are most likely clinging to their seats in panic, react to this is entirely up to them.
Okay, mates. Well, you guys buff that out while we're gone. We'll be back soon.
How do you manage to not land this, but pull off a gravity slingshot?
I think the brakes are going.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think it would appear he was trying to make a gravity slingshot using this planet. He just forgot to leave a bit more margin of error.
You guys start to notice a few people running over with hoses.
Well, any landing you walk away from is good. Let's go trade. Have my crew buff that scratch out while I'm gone.
Yeah, they're gonna do that.
Heartened by the captain's claim of having a warrant of trade, I'm going to make sure I am not the first down the gangplank and going to stay near him.
I do have a warrant of trade. If
Very well.
I ever have to talk to the person who gave it to me again, there'll be problems, but
Yep.
I have it.
Right then, your arrival is met with zero fanfare whatsoever, besides a few people running over with hoses, worriedly looking at the front of your ship like it will explode. You may talk to them or not. The other part of the crew is exiting to go attempt to buff that out.
Don't worry, guys. My own crew's worrying about this.
If you should, they mumble in low Gothic before scrambling away. There are some servitors around to kind of shuffle around just doing work nonchalantly because they couldn't give less of a fuck. For those who are not from the Imperium, you may roll a knowledge check to figure out what the hell they are.
Yeah,
Specifically, Common Lore Imperium. I also accept technology, though.
I have a
Judging by the
servo skull, so I know what a servitor is.
Yeah, of course you fucking know. I said anyone from non-Imperium.
Yeah. Judging by the kind of rolls I'm getting, I'm sure my crew has expertise in buffing these kind of things out by now.
Yeah, they kind of do. Well, there's the armored lady. Since the Tau doesn't want to make a roll, for everyone else's sake who's not familiar with what a servitor is, occasional people will be declared useless, or like if you get an injury that would impede you mentally or even physically to a point where they don't think can fix it without great expense, they will just remove all higher thought from you and turn you into a cyborg with that just obeys the commands. It's just a robotic humanoid with no personality beyond what you command it to do. They do most of the hard labor.
Cyborgs as slave droids.
Yep.
You would think full robots would be cheaper, but okay.
Not really. They don't know how to make AI, so...
Also, they kind of had a huge, evil
They know how to
war.
dumb down humans to the point where they obey whatever you say, but they can't make
Smart
a
up
computer smart enough
do
to
it.
do the same thing. So, you are now on the hive world of Quasimodo. You're not sure what it's called. You probably ask around about that. And it is really populated once you get off the recently vacated landing zone.
That's more like it. This is my kind of place.
And by very populated, I mean your particular landing space was in the mid-city, which is just below the Noble District, let's call it. To describe a hive city, it's not open-aired, not unless you're in the Noble District. Think the lower levels of Terrace from Star Wars. It's all towers, and you're inside them, and even when you pass from tower to tower, you're still inside another tower. There's no open air. I mean, you were just at open air, obviously, but once you're in, no more open air. The only reason you're not suffocating to death on the pollution when you landed is because of specialized domes to prevent such things. They're like shimmering void shields, but lesser so.
Is Coruscant also equivalent?
Coruscant has a little too much open space between their towers. We're talking packed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, hive worlds are awful.
Oh yeah, awful. It gets worse the deeper you go. You're in the midsection. It's already grinding poverty levels.
For those who are following here from Foundation Trilogy, think Splendid Wisdom.
Only worse. Trust me, no
No,
matter how bad
Splendid
it is,
Wisdom
it's
is a
worse here.
hive.
So as an example, once you've left the docks, you arrive in a section of the city that is no more squalid than the rest of it, I guess is the most positive thing you could say. There's people of varying levels of mutilation, trying to get work. There are those who are actively working. There are those who are shuffling around. There are those who are trying to sell you stuff. It's shoulder to shoulder, packed with people almost all the time. Luckily for you, in a sense, they actually keep a little bit more distance from you for the combination of A, Xeno, and B, person in power armor. They tend to allow that a bit more shoulder space.
Little bit.
What you do from here is entirely up to you, because welcome to Quasimodo. It's full of fuck.
Welcome to Hubtown.
Okay, once we're actually out of the hangar area, just gonna pull everyone off the side where nobody could be actively listening in for more than a few seconds as they walk by.
Fair enough. There are alleyways of a sort. They're less alleyways, more parts of the hive that have likely been ripped open for repairs and never patched over.
Yeah.
None of it leads to the open air because that's full of pollution and would kill you. Yep. But it's kind of like being inside the guts of a machine if you go in
Holes in between substructures.
Yes. A lot of tubes.
So we're in the internet?
No. Unless the internet is poop.
Well. So, Captain, what
I take it you haven't been on Twitter in a bit.
What? Okay.
You hold them aside.
Hold us aside.
Yes. I'll point to the Tau. You apparently want to stay on my ship.
Well, I can make myself far more useful to a traveling ship than I can to this remarkable display of density at work.
Turn to Desdemona. I'm assuming the sister wants to get away from the Xeno as soon as possible.
Sketh puts on his best imitation of a human surprised and innocently surprised look.
Sorry, I was chewing on something. The question was, did you pull aside someone?
Yeah, he's talking. He's talking to us and figuring out our motivations.
Oh, sorry. I thought you pulled aside a random NPC and wanted to ask him something.
No, Desdemona.
We start shaking people one by one and asking them where the thing we're looking for is.
Lark's tactic won't work. There's simply too many people. And then mostly I'll direct you to back where you came from, Xeno's scum.
There are worse than his kind.
That doesn't explain why you'd want to be around his kind at all.
Well, you don't like his kind either. No one does. He's Xeno.
Sure, but he's a little bit more tolerant, only because he doesn't have nearly as much of an option. Well, he's not going around telling people. He knows he's a heretic, and that means he's going to get looped in with Xenos anyway.
Fair enough.
Would prefer not to remain here.
Well, here you are. You're on a hive world. I'm sure you can find a ship back to the... well, whichever Imperium world you came for from here.
They would rather I not return.
I'm going to assume that the person they did want to return was on the ship that went kaboom.
Yes.
And a whole lot of tearing.
If I do not return
with him...
with
Can I have a perception check from... damn it, I went and forgot your... Sketh, that's it. Sketh, that's your nickname. Sketh. And, oh, damn it, the navigator's name escapes me, too.
Carnamord.
Carnamord, there it is. Thank you. Sorry,
Carnivore.
are there any characters' names? Give me a second. So, Sketh, Carnamord, please both make perception rolls while these two talk.
Sure,
If it's
keeping
just
an eye out.
perception, 33.
Both of you.
Nice.
Important.
Yeah, I'm just checking. Raw perception, 42.
Carnivore, you notice that as they're talking and discussing matters, there is a troop of Imperial Guard making their way this direction. You would guess 15. Mostly because the crowd is moving out of their fucking way. And by this
Guys,
direction, I
we
mean
might,
towards the port. It may not be for you, but it is the port you landed in.
guys, we might have a problem. And
What?
I will direct their vision towards the Imperial Guards coming this way.
As an idea, the average Imperial Guard is a man dressed in what's called flak armor, which, there's pictures all over the internet, just look at Imperial Guard. Green combat gear. And they carry a las gun, which, although a flashlight when next to something like an orc, will kill you dead quite easily in a shot or two. And there's roughly 15 of the fellows marching this direction. You can't tell which one's the sergeant from here. It's not usually that obvious. They don't have a commissar or anything. It's just this lot. This is either a patrol, but they are beelining towards the dock pretty at a smart pace, let's call it.
I will hull up the hood of my parade uniform's cloak and try and make myself look innocuous and possibly like a human leper instead of a Xeno. Let me know if when you require a disguise check for that.
It's a
All
leper,
right.
kill him.
Is there anything else?
You said we're in like a place that, it kind of looks like it's been torn apart to be rebuilt and then never was rebuilt.
Correct.
I'm a tech priest. I've got a mechadendrite arm. I'm gonna make it look like I'm building something here. Not
Fair
really
enough.
building, but messing with the stuff.
Right. Anyone else have anything else they'd like to do?
Now, there's not much for Desdemona to do. She's wearing Sorata's power armor. I don't think that's going to blend in randomly.
No.
All right then. You are
I'm
doing
just checking
what?
some.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
I just have to go through the book. I think I might get a bonus to blending into crowds or something.
Oh, that's yes.
I know the Tau does.
Yeah,
You're not blending into a crowd. You're blending into a random hole in the wall. It's a bit different.
Yes, I've mastered the art of blending into any crowd. Attempts to notice me when amongst other people, or attempts to describe me or recall details, incur a -20 penalty.
And that is why they're not coming here at a run with a commissar.
Okay, not really, but I do move quickly through crowds, so I'm just going to split up from the group and go over to a random shop and huddle around.
You want some death sticks?
Right,
so...
you don't want to sell discs.
I don't want to sell
You want to
this.
go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life. Wait, I live here. Oh. Alright, so now that reference is out of the way, you've done what you're going to do. I will now take from the... It's up to you which one you want to use, whether disguise, bluff, or even tech if you really want to actually try and repair this, to do what you're doing, Captain.
Can I look at what it is before I try and actually repair it?
Like I said, it looks like this was just a part of the wall, and at some undeterminable point, they tore a big sheet of metal free to get at something and just never put a new sheet of metal up. If you had a sheet of metal and, like, a few tools, this would probably be a pretty easy repair, but you don't exactly have a big sheet of metal laying around. I mean, I'm not going to just leave that. That's some asshole looted that.
Well, yeah. You could make something out of it or just sell it.
Exactly. So yeah, no big sheet of metal handy. So now keep in mind, most people's idea of what you do is basically magic. So you could, like I said, bluff is an option here.
Just fiddle with some of the pipes and circuits and make it look like you're doing work.
Exactly.
I will have the mechadendrite arm, like, in the wall,
Fair enough.
and then, well, I'm wearing a robe, so I can do that thing where they put your arms in front of them and have, like, the arms of the robe connected.
Mm-hmm.
Cross your arms and pray.
Yep, you're
That's-
doing the tech priest thing. So, whatever you want to roll is your business. Roll it, though. As to our Xeno friend here, you know what you need to roll.
We don't have bluff. What is bluff?
Fellowship.
It's a skill underneath.
Deceive?
It might be. Hold on.
Yeah, deceive replaces bluff.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't have the best score for this.
I know. Do it. Well, that's tough. Still need a roll from our Xeno friend.
Yep. Would you prefer disguise or deceive?
Depends on what you're trying to do. If you're simply trying to disguise your fact and your Xeno scum, then disguise. If you're trying to make them think no one's here, then that's deceive. Or no one here worth noting. Like, are you trying to go completely unnoticed or just not be a Xeno?
I'm going to go unnoticed.
Fair enough.
Deceive. 65 before the 20 that the talent grants.
Thank goodness for that talent. The guard do not notice Skeeth at all. However, a tech priest just kind of jerking off in a corner does kind of draw their attention a little.
Well, he's got a bodyguard there in golden armor.
Well, one of them sees, waves over to others, and the three of them part off from the major group. The major group continues on, but the three guard approach the captain, Mr. No, Carnamon is the... Damn it.
Captain
Sigismund Lakeland.
Sigismund, that's it. Sigismund. So they approach Sigismund and collectively just lift their brow at him. Like, they don't even say anything. They just lift their brow at him.
Very, very slight turning of the head. Guardsman.
What you doing there?
Speaking to the machine spirits of this wall.
I would like a bluff or a deceive or something along that nature, please.
Bluff is deceive.
Okay, both.
I am really bad at this. It is not a trained skill for tech priests.
Yeah.
They both frown at you and go, "Get out of there. We know you're trying to get parts for the servitor. Get going." They kind of like try and like, they wave their guns at you to like get the hell out of that little spot.
I'll look at them. The mechadendrite will come out of the wall, but I'll just kind of look at them in the robes of a tech priest.
They seem pretty insistent about shooing you out of that little alcove.
Another will simply be sent.
Assuming you obey, I need another deception or disguise from our Xeno, because they get another chance to potentially see you.
Actually, on that note, as he starts to walk away, he'll absently wave to Xeno, "Come, servitor."
Okay, I need a bluff from both of you.
Okay.
But it's a bit more convincing than just a guy.
I shall try to stumble stiffly in a way that might be appropriate to a servitor.
You are a really good servitor.
I want my rolls to be like that, please.
Actually, okay. I'll say this. I was going to say you actually don't need to roll. He performs his. He has it down to where a servitor shuffles and so on, because you got essentially a critical. Yeah, he has it completely down, and you rolled close enough to 22 anyway. You're good. They both seem a little surprised because they didn't see him there at all, and they blink a moment, but his shuffling and utter silence and the perfect motions, like they're all calculated motions, completely convince them, and they just nod once and march back towards the rest of the group. You hear them, that other group, start asking questions about a possible Xenos presence. And you're able to reconvene at the shop of the death stick dealer, who is rethinking his life while smoking a death stick. Which are just cigarettes.
Once those guardsmen are out of earshot,
they're out of earshot within like 5 feet away. Is out of earshot, guy.
Yeah, but just saying, he's gonna turn back towards our Xeno. Keep the hood up. And keep walking like that.
With collar fully popped, continue walking like that.
All right, where would you like to go? Now, this is a freebie to all Imperium citizens. You know, the deeper down you go, the more common mutations are as a possibility, and the less strength the Imperial Guard has in terms of ability to enforce certain things. So if you want to go unnoticed, you go down.
Well, what kind of
So
supplies
if you
do
go
we need?
down,
We came
it
down
gets
here for
bad
stuff.
shit. Like gangs. Sorry, what?
Well, we came down here for stuff, so what kind of stuff do we need? We'll start there.
Fuel, ammunition, like supplies for the people. You know, food. I mean, you can live off corpse starch for a while, but not forever.
Then some horses
Yeah,
for those horse
Yes.
races.
Speaking of which, so Captain, just what did you? I understand you have a warrant of trade, but what did you do for a living aboard your mighty ship before that incident back there?
Long pause.
To be completely frank, considering what your ship is like and what you're like, you probably went around looting planets for like ancient tech.
Well,
so I don't think you're going to tell him that.
That's his plan, but this was his first outing on getting the warrant of trade. Because it was, okay, here, have a warrant of trade. First you have to go do this thing.
Yep. You failed the thing. Spectacularly.
Let's just say I haven't had the warrant of trade very long.
All right. So, are we here looking for reliable sources of work, or just information on where good may be redistributed from where dead hands no longer need it?
Information sounds good. And of course we need more fuel, ammunition, food.
Well, if we need food, we're not going to find any good food going down is the problem.
Yep.
You find me someone who will talk to me without reporting me to the guard, and I'll find us work.
Maybe slightly more difficult than you think, but...
I love how the face is a Xenos. This makes this so much more interesting.
Idea. Captain, do you have a microbead?
I do.
Excellent. I will go find a nice quiet hole to hide in, and you go find people, and I shall try to direct you in your negotiations as best I can.
Well, you could have just stayed on the ship.
The bead has a much shorter range than
It's
that.
1 kilometer.
And this is a big city.
Absolutely retarded massive.
Yes.
It covers most of a landmass roughly the size of Pangea. So, where would you like to start looking, and who would you like to try and contact? Assuming Skith keeps his head down, so to speak, there's nothing stopping you from just asking the average person where you would get certain supplies and who I'd talk to, and then working off that.
We don't really have anything else to work off of at all, so...
No, you don't have a contact yet, no.
Well, I think
However,
food
I
might be
actually
the
will give you
important
one
thing.
free... Not free, it's... Sorry, I interrupted you, go ahead.
Yeah, I think food might be the important thing, so our crew doesn't starve.
Yeah, what kind of supplies do we have?
Currently, shit tons of corpse starch, enough supply of good, well not good, adequate food for the entire crew for roughly, looking, 1 week and 3 days.
So we were cutting it a little fine when we got here.
A little bit, yeah. Well, you had corpse starch, you would have made it here
Yeah,
unless you completely
but-
fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got all
need
turned
food
around,
and
we're suddenly backwards.
If you're wondering, you have as much corpse starch as, like, it's infinite, but that will only keep you alive for a little less than 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, so we need food, booze, whores, and Nintendos.
Yes. Also, speaking of, if you buy extra things for your crew, it will improve morale. You
That's
just
why I
gain
said
them more.
That
that's why I
sentence
said
should not have.
Nintendos.
That sentence should not have been followed by "speaking of."
Well, yeah,
Well-
it's on the same subject.
Someone figure out how to talk to people. I need to go use the bathroom.
Speaking of whores and Nintendos, have
The
you
crew would
played?
be love to have both.
Have you played Metroid yet?
You terrible person. Actually,
Yes,
I have a freebie
I am
for
pretty
you.
awful,
Sort of,
yes.
kind of vague freebie. The Sister of Battle has connections to the Ecclesiarchy, which means if she desires, she can go talk to what is essentially the church to gain some direction and help theoretically.
We'll find the local chapter.
Yeah, they will have a local representative on this planet and multiple smaller representatives depending on what section you're in.
I say we look for the food and stuff and see what trouble that gets us into.
Yeah, she's not exactly really looking forward to returning any contact with the church.
Well,
for reference, for everyone's sake,
Yeah.
because it's not very hard to figure out, they call this hive city Del B, and you don't know why they do.
Okay.
It's just Del B, whole city, Del B. I mean, this Del B section A, Del B section B, blah blah blah, but Del B is the city name.
If she voices any of this uncertainty,
Probably
She won't.
subconsciously.
She
No.
won't be talking to you guys about this unless someone brings it up. She's keeping tight-lipped.
yeah. It is.
What do you do
probable-
besides stand and look grouchy again?
Shoot things. It is quite likely that few to no people have heard of what happened back at the Galactic Conference warp fuck up, because there were so few survivors, among which are only us and our ship.
Also, it's not necessarily well known that it was happening, and this is the back end world of the galaxy. They probably wouldn't know even if it did happen.
So you've
Are
probably
we even sure
got
we arrived? Are we even sure at what time we arrived? Because I read that can be a screwy thing.
Well, from what you're able to tell, it took you 9 days to get here, plus another week or so of normal space travel.
Yeah,
so...
but that
In
was shipboard
shipboard
time in the
time.
warp.
No, 9 of that was shipboard time in the warp. The other one was a solid week in real time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Are we even sure we came out at the right time from the warp? Because that can be tricky.
From your rolls and estimations, you're pretty sure it was 9 days, and if you're off, you're only off by like 2 or so days. The
Okay.
chances of you being off by like more than a week are really small, considering how well you did on the navigation, so...
If there is any shame to be held, then it's probable the rest of the galaxy will not know of your shame for some months.
Also, as reference, because you're a navigator and would know this, because this is also part of your job, is to send out messages across the warp. A message from one star system to the next, let's just say as close as Earth to its next closest one, would take anywhere from, assuming 2 very skilled users, at the best of conditions, a month or so, just to say something like, hey, how you doing?
How do they run an empire?
Through
Short
brute
change.
force.
Basically, you have someone say, hey, to this planet, which is hey to this warp vessel, which is hey to this warp vessel, and you just kind of speed it that way.
Yeah,
And the threat that if you don't obey, your planet is destroyed.
yeah, they do it through the brute force of the religious indoctrination. That is how they maintain an empire.
And it's not uncommon for it's actually extremely common for an enemy force to show up. They send out a, oh god, we're being attacked. You get it like a week or 2 later, and then you react to it, and you save like the next system over. Because the system that got attacked is gone!
I return. What did I miss?
Just discussions of temporal analysis and transfer of message in intergalactic politics.
He's not
The
wrong.
usual.
You did miss the fact that I pointed out that you would have one technical contact to start off with, which is the Ecclesiarchy itself, because you have a Sister of Battle with you, and she could technically speak to the church and get some information, assuming she keeps the whole I have a Xenos under my hat thing under her hat.
Yeah, the sister would have to be doing most of the talking there. I have the talent, enemy ecclesiarchy for a reason.
I'm not saying it'd go well.
So,
just saying,
sister,
that's a
what
freebie.
captain conveyed you here by his vessel? Oh, blah. Oh, bang.
Well, no, it isn't, yes it does, actually. Yeah.
Oh, I have pure ecclesiarchy too.
The church is pretty spooky. I'm just saying, if you need a starting point and you can't think of one, or you don't want to do the rough way, there you go.
all I'm
Technically
saying is-
speaking, you could speak to the Adaptus Mechanis representatives, but they're not going to be all that useful. I mean, you could talk to them for ship parts and repairs, but that's
And
not
they
what you
might know where
need.
ammunition is.
Yeah, there's some stuff that you can talk to the ammunition for your ship, certainly, but that's lower priority than some of the other stuff. Of course, you could always just go straight to the top and try and talk to the planetary governor if you're crazy.
I mean, that is technically possible. It's not a good idea.
And I just said, it's on the list. I have a big old list of people you can talk to, trust me.
I mean, as a rogue trader, even planetary governors tend to listen to you, but...
Yeah, if you mention your warranty of trade and present yourself to the planetary governor, he is heavily inclined to listen to you.
Because
maybe
whether
not
it's...
actually do anything, just listen to what you say, then throw you out the airlock, full of pollution and death.
Because you generally want to assume that they're not lying about that, because if they aren't lying about it, and you assume they are, you might be getting, cannons rained down on your home.
Yep.
Or someone might forget to relay a critical message next time you scream about orcs! Orcs in the skies!
Yep. You do have a warp-capable ship, which is roughly the size of a third of their hive city, for God's sake. And they don't.
Yeah, so either the ecclesiarchy talking on the street or the Adeptus Mechanicus.
There's your three.
And
There aren't any Tau representatives, so...
And I can tell you Desdemona is not offering the ecclesiarchy.
And Sigismund obviously is not going to go there of his own accord.
Looks like it's time to start talking to some hobos.
Yeah, there's Adeptus Mechanicus too. They don't know anything about food.
They forget to eat a lot.
Uh-huh. They like to just implant things that'll feed them themselves.
And forget about it, yep.
Alright,
So
let's
you're-
find some random people to talk to.
Okay. I need this game's equivalent of a gather information check, which I don't think it has one, but I will take pretty much any social skill you want to throw at me, depending on who you're talking to. Whether you want to talk to primarily merchants, primarily workers, something along that line.
I have both inquiry and common lore underworld.
I'll take both, for whatever reasons you may give me.
Here is my inquiry of 65. Of course.
Of course.
This planet is populated mostly by humans.
Well, I can at least assume a certain percentage of them are criminals. After an hour of trying to subtly find some kind of underworld contact, Sketh just looks sheepish.
Uh-huh.
I have successfully bartered away 2 rats from this hobo. I believe they are a delicacy, but it doesn't smell like it.
They would not.
I would like a perception check from everyone. See, you're not seeing it, but I'm rolling shit.
Yeah, 42. Nope.
Everyone, yeah. Oh, for God's sake.
Hi!
Oh my God.
33.
Awesome. Just awesome. You noticed nothing. at all wrong up until a man in. Oh, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh, tell a fellow in, well, Imperial Guard outfit, and this one's probably an officer, judging from the, extra sigils he happens to wear. Just sort of grabs, say, Kanamon just by the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, you seen any unusual, like a rumor of like a Xeno landing or something?"
Have I seen any unusual Xenos?
No, like, mutants and other scum. Looking towards him, he's backed by 4 others. Who, although they're not really, like, focused on you, they're mostly just bored looking and distracted and doing their job as minimally as possible. Oh, to note, these Imperial Guard, they're wearing the flak jackets, but they're only wearing the jacket. And importantly, they actually aren't armed with their full las guns. They only have las pistols. You'd guess these guys were likely off duty and brought on duty just to do like a quick search or something, just to, if you're hazarding a guess. That or they're just the laziest and shittiest guard ever.
They're not elites. We can take them. Don't
No, you
listen to me.
can't.
Yeah, maybe not.
I punch him in the face. No.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this doesn't go terribly as Carnamon turns around to answer the man and, you see any filthy mutants? And notices the third eye.
Don't worry, that's covered. And even if it wasn't, if it wasn't, you'd all be blasted with the power of the warp. But even if he could make his perception check to know he has it, navigators are an accepted mutant species and he'd leave them alone.
Because you need navigators.
Yeah, you do.
I don't think you can miss the perception check to notice the big black eye in the middle of my forehead.
Alright, well, he notices it and doesn't care because, again, navigator, eat that.
Roger that. I
Eyes
try to
black
make
as the
myself look very, very small.
Xenos? No. Can't say I have.
Mm.
My fellowship is 29. Sorry,
Alright, then.
my roll for that
thanks
is...
for your time.
Yeah.
Need to roll
Sorry,
something.
my roll for any fellowship skills is 29, sorry.
Okay. Alright, they seem convinced and move on. They're not really paying all that much attention to you guys. You're starting to think that staying on the mid-tier, where it's just below the Noble District, is going to be at least a little dangerous, because this is where the Imperial Guard will have its greatest strength outside of the Noble District.
So that's
In fact,
obviously
if
where we
anything,
should
you'll
go
see more
next.
patrols down here because they need them.
Okay, so we're going down a level.
It
Well,
does get
yeah,
significantly worse the further down you go.
We can find important supplies on our way back up, maybe.
Okay, I'll go wherever you guys are going.
Alright, down to the lower level. Yeah, there's quite a few levels. We'll just call it lower, shall we? As you're wandering, though, before you leave the 8th or so market you've come by, you're noticing some particulars. There seems to be a lot of signage pointing towards... It's like this, they're advertising a lot of this particular substance. It's called... Oh, there it is. Special sauce. It's just called... There's not like a lot of, posters advertising what it looks like. It just seems to come in like a little cream packet that you do something with, and it's called special sauce. From just looking at random posters, there certainly seems to be a lot of it either going around or trying to be sold. And if you're looking, you can at least count one stall every so often, like hawking it. Again, you're not sure what it is or what it does, but you can look into that if you want. At least before you go to the lower levels. From there,
It's boner pills.
I don't think we have any need for special sauce.
Well, you don't know what it does. Maybe you do. They slur it pretty bad, though. Schross half the time.
Well, we see a vendor every now and then, don't we? Talking it.
You do. He's not far. There's not any obvious Imperials around, so...
I'll
Well,
ask
not
him
an
what the
Imperial
special
Guard, that
sauce
is.
does.
If you want to know what it does, you do have to at least get close to his stand.
Yeah, I'll
You
go
have to
up.
pretend to be shopping, you know?
Yeah, I'll go up to him and I'll take a passing interest and ask him what it does.
What ho, good merchant.
He seems extremely surprised you don't know, then kind of realizes, oh, you're the awful elders. All right. It's also called double strength cure. And let's see here. Here we go. He pulls out a knife, cuts his own arm, just puts a cut on it, not a deep one, just, yeah. Takes some of the cream, rubs it on it, and there's like this harsh sizzling sound. The stuff kind of bubbles for a second before fading. And he goes, there, no infection, no chance of it, done. After a little more communication, where he continues to try and sell you the stuff, this is apparently something they actually create on planet. It comes after some creature or another. It's considered extremely valuable because it is basically an extremely potent antibacterial. It essentially just consumes whatever infection might be in there and just boils it away to nothing while leaving the organic relatively unharmed. And I mean relatively, you do lose like a good layer of skin or so, or flesh or whatever you're doing it on.
And he does that to himself as a demo? What an idiot.
I never said the guy was a good salesman. I rolled his stats. His int is stupid.
He doesn't actually have an int score, it just says stupid.
Yeah, very. Yeah, I don't really need that. Do you know where we can buy some food for a ship of, how many people are on a ship?
25,000.
25,000 people?
He looks at you like you grew another head.
I checked my shoulder to make sure I didn't grow another head.
You have not, thankfully.
That's actually a problem.
Yeah, I know. I'm just... Thankfully, you have not. He pauses for a while and goes, I just sell what I catch. I wouldn't, I guess, Larry, 8 stalls over, sells, fried gecker? I don't know if he has that much fried gecker.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go back. Yeah, I don't think any of these yokels sell the kind of supplies we need.
Oh.
It is unlikely that a random stall will have enough supply, yes. They'd have to be connected to either I guess you'd call it a local chain, finger quotes.
Yeah, that's
Or
why
you
I
have to
was
talk to
asking
people
if he
in
knew
charge.
anybody.
So either you have to talk to some kind of local corporation that deals in food, or the local authority. They're the only two sources that would likely have food in that supply. Or get it yourself. That's always a possibility. You have a war and a trade. You have every right to land here and start harvesting the fucking death jungle.
True.
Ooh, let's do it.
Not as easy as it sounds.
That sounds fun.
It
We
is
can
a
kill
death
tigers.
jungle.
Death forest, really, but yes.
I can shoot tigers with my pistol.
Laser tigers with acid instead of arms.
With my pistol that has a penis head instead of a barrel.
Just
Oh,
get
God,
on with
why?
it. Are you going to a lower level or
Jesus.
what?
Well, yeah, I assume we're still going to a lower level because Sketh knows how to talk to Underworld. We have to actually get to Underworld first.
Well, we have gone down a level. I suppose it may be possible for us to try again. That someone goes forward as a mouthpiece for Sketh, and while he whispers suggestions in their ear as to how to maneuver the conversation.
Well, I'm going to need another roll, but yeah,
Yep.
pretty much guarantee success on this one.
Here comes the inquiry of 65.
You're good. Inquiring as to certain less than associated with the higher-ups, those damn nobles. How can I get around their taxes? Wink, 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 nudge, nudge, wink. It
And then
Does
I want you to wink with your left eye, not your right. It's associated with the deceitfulness, and these are deceitful people.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
your left eye.
Ouch.
I heard that. That was your right eye. Wink. Wink, damn it.
That is exactly how it goes. All right. Now, they there's no other real term for this. They kind of direct you towards a money lender. Is the best terminology for his job. They call him a favorer or a favor giver or that fella you're gonna need sooner or later. A lot of names.
Sin eater.
Yeah. They call him for reasons unknown, because none of them will tell you. They just laugh whenever you mention it. His full name is apparently Captain Abraham Jonas the 34th. Generally called Captain Ahab. They keep laughing every time you call him that. You're not sure why.
Seems legit.
According to their directions, he definitely lives on the lower level, and he lives in what was, again, once a wall. Now tear about 8 meters of it out and like put a house in it. That's where he lives.
Huh. Okay.
A lot of the play, actually, a lot of it's like that, where a lot of this was probably corridors, and it's just been shanghaied into living space. Very ramshackle. A lot of the houses are just part of the walls. It's a good thing it's all metal, otherwise a fire would just kill everyone.
A little bit, yeah.
So, I'm presuming you're going to follow up on this and go to this Captain Ahab's house.
We found information, doesn't do anything, we don't do anything with it.
It is
Right.
time to act.
You
Action
act
is good for us.
with vigor. Captain Ahab office/home, as I said, is basically a hole in the wall with a house stuck in it. It's not. It doesn't look any better off than any of the other hyper poverty stricken, likely diseased, and about to fall down houses. You will note its door is better condition than the rest of the walls. His door is at least. You can't just walk through it. You actually have to, open it. It's not about to just rust into oblivion any second now, How would you like to approach his home?
I would like to approach it next session.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a point we can wrap up. And you guys
then
still
we
got
get
other
to get stabbed by a harpoon next time.
Just like the whalers on the moon.
Fun. So, that's
I am
that's
trim and fit for my people. I am not a blue whale.
Well,
Says you.
The warp travel thing was an interesting stuff. It's good to know warp travel can be used as the primary encounter of a session, depending on what happens.
As
And
we
we
become
were
more
actually-
familiar with these rules, it'll be easier to...
Speedier.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you guys got basically one encounter,
At
which
least
was
we
just
actually all
one
had
person
things
going
to roll.
halupa dupa dupa.
Yeah, you'd better write up some more star systems for us to go to.
Actually, you have to, assuming you want to get somewhere quickly, you can warp travel between, inside a star system. So, you might
Oh, I
have.
didn't know that.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few days between each planet, even this system. So if you want to shorten it down to hours, even you can do warp skips. So that brings about dangers. So
And then you materialize in the sun.
Uh-huh.
fun.
Yeah. It's exactly what you want to happen.
Time will come into play. You don't want to just spend a week getting everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
I'm glad this was fun. I had a lot of enjoyment out of it, and there's more to come.
Alrighty. I will see you all next week for
Where
Lust
we'll also die.
Oh, that reminds me. Everyone, although it didn't seem difficult, you guys actually had a few hairpin moments, and your navigator performed excellently, and even did a cool little trick with the warp turbulence, let's call it.
You almost killed us, but you made us go faster. I don't know what to yell at you about.
Well, he
Hey, I knew
managed to
exactly
skip
what I
across the
thought. I'm
gravity
great.
riptide. You guys got through the warp. You managed to not kill each other when one of you went hallucinated crazies. I'm going to give everyone in this party 500 XP, because everyone did something.
Yay!
Yeah, I got to shoot my allies.
Yay!
It counts.
Well, you didn't kill your allies, so
I got to crash my own ship.
Yep. Everyone did something and failed and or succeeded about the same amount. So,
mostly failing.
oh yeah, tons of failing, but you didn't all die, and you've already gone through the warp once. That's a plus. So good job, you. Everyone gains 500 XP.
Maybe I'll take a, legendary advance and actually get some ranks in command.
You might want to
That
take
could
that
be
into
good,
serious
yeah.
consideration.
And if I remember right, we're stuck with rank 1 advances until we reach, was it 8 or 10,000 XP?
I think it's 8,000.
No worry there. I've got plenty to spend in rank 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Rank
but-
one, it's a big list.
Concerning that picture you sent, I just read those verses. How the hell do you get cyberpunk culture is evil from them?
I've got no fucking clue.
I sort of get how you come to some of these conclusions, but that one's just what the fuck.
And Lord of the Rings and rebirthing.
Well, I
and
get Lord of the Rings because there's a wizard in it.
Graves, Ecstasy, Twilight Films, Palmistry.
As a
Well,
reminder,
Twilight films again, the supernatural. Yeah.
as a reminder on that whole ranking up thing,